morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. This is Concerned Citizen of South Sudan is live, February 3rd, 2019, with a special episode tonight. I welcome all of you for joining us here to discuss very important issues today. We usually don't do this show on Sundays, but as I said, this is a special episode today. We are going to conduct this show, very important. As you can see there, our topic tonight, after angrily lashing out the international community this week, particularly TROIKA and European Union, for being against peace ARCSS, is Minister Michael Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace agreement in South Sudan. That's our first question right there on the topic tonight. And also, Minister Makuei Lueth further alleged that U.S. is sponsoring and harboring NAS National Salvation Front, Thomas Cirillo, in an attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan. Are all these allegations true? We will have a group of experts, outspoken South Sudanese, joining us here momentarily to discuss this together. As follow here, I have Dr. Sandy Dijon will join us from Nairobi, and Dr. Francis Malwal from Phoenix, Arizona in the United States. And we have Dr.Daniel Ater from Melbourne, Australia, and also Mr. Emmanuel Ajawin from UK in London. We will have Mr. Atileo Abu Yasmine from Winnipeg, Canada, and Ms. Apuk Jiel Maror from Sydney, Australia as well, and Mr. Sabata Ramba from Salt Lake City, United States, and Mr. Abdalla Garang here in Seattle, Washington. And also we will have Thuc Kuec from Arizona. So I welcome you one more time for joining us. This is so important day today to discuss this very, very, very important topic tonight. So let me go ahead and play a little bit of music here while I'm waiting for those brothers and sisters to join this very, very important show tonight. We got it. Someone asked me last night, it said, Jongkor, you know, your show, actually, you don't like people to speak Dinka, but you keep playing Dinka music. Well, music has nothing to do with that, because people actually, I enjoy listening to music. And actually, I applaud, you know, the local music. I love the local music, you know. I'm not one of those guys, you know, who want to go with East Africa or Jamaican or an American music. I love my own. I listen to Nuer music. I listen to Shilluk music, to Bari music, whatever they are, you know. I love my own South Sudanese music. That's why you see me always, you know, I'm listening to music. So one more time, I welcome all of you for joining us here. We will have those brothers and sisters momentarily joining us to discuss this very, very important topic. And like I said, those who are in Australia, such as Dr. Daniel Ater and Apuk Maror, they might be asleep, but they can join us momentarily as well. But I know, I'm aware that they are awake and they are up as to follow this very, very important topic tonight. Keep in mind, we don't tolerate any insult in our topic, in our show all the time. We can agree to disagree in our program. That's no issue with that at all. But we will not allow anyone to insult guests or each other. So thank you so much. You know, yes, we are cousin Tom. We are so serious, and that's the way the marriage should be handled. So thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Sister Atong. Thank you, Akwal. And thank to all of you. I don't see all the lists, but I am so delighted to have you guys on the show tonight. Ahlan bekum maratan ukhra. So all my guests, if one of them showed up, would be really, really good. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the topic for you today. After angrily lashing out the international community this week, particularly TROIKA and European Union, for being against peace ARCSS, is Minister Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace agreement in South Sudan. And also, Minister Makuei Lueth further alleged that the U.S. is sponsoring and harboring National Salvation and the leadership of Thomas Cirillo in attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan. Are all these allegations true? We will examine with the group of outspoken South Sudanese that I have mentioned, and I can repeat them into you one more time. Dr. Sandy Dijon from Nairobi, and Dr. Francis Malwal from Phoenix, Arizona, United States. Dr. Daniel Ater from Sydney, Australia, and Mr. Emmanuel Ajawin from UK. I have Mr. Atileo Abu Yasmine from Winnipeg, Canada, and Miss Apuk Jiel Maror from Sydney, Australia, Mr. Sabata Ramba from Salt Lake City, and Mr. Abdalla Garang in Seattle, Washington, and Mr. Thuc Kuec from Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be waiting for this Shababu Neira, Shanyandomo Elena, well, and many more. We are not going to dictate the chances. We will allow all of you to participate tonight. So you are there already. You can go ahead and send in a request. I saw Emmanuel Sunday Dijon, but it looked like his phone is not on. But go ahead and start with Mr. Emmanuel Ajawin. Emmanuel Ajawin, I'm calling you right now. Hopefully the network will cooperate today. Yes, for sure, Sabit, I will mix it. It's Arabic. Yes. Inshallah أنا نحاور باللغتين العربية والإنجليزية اليوم إن شاء الله. Emmanuel Ajawin, I'm calling you. أنا ما أعرف أنت موجود فعلا ولا ما موجود. All right. Emmanuel Ajawin, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, my dear brother. And I have to appreciate you for well done, articulate point last night. I was floored with phone calls from women of Greater Medina who actually saying thank you to Emmanuel Ajawin. It was really good acknowledgement coming and speaking yesterday. Thank you so much. They said I have to appreciate you and say hi to him, please.
Thank you, Jongkor. Yesterday we saw you in emotional state, and you know we deserve to say the truth, and truth has been told to set us free. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to be with you tonight. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everybody.
Yes, there are different zones.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So as you can see, our question of tonight. If you see it there, but I can go ahead and repeat it because I tried to pin it, but I was not able to pin it today. So the question, Emmanuel, it's after angrily lashing out the international community this week, particularly the TROIKA and the European Union, for being against peace ARCSS, is Minister Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace agreement in South Sudan? That's the first question. The second question, also, Minister Makuei Lueth further alleged that the U.S. is sponsoring and harboring National Salvation leader Thomas Cirillo in attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan. Are all these allegations are true? What is your intake on this, Emmanuel?
Thank you, Jongkor, and you know, the topic today, I think, is very pertinent to us, and it's very timely. The issue of Michael Makuei comments, especially on the first issue, and whether it is raising an alarm that the peace agreement is collapsing. Of course, all of us knew very well from the proper analysis of the situation when the agreement was signed that this agreement will not hold for long, and that is why some of us did not sign the agreement back in September. The agreement, of course, if you look at it, the important element of it, which means the implementation, especially by the international community.
Yes.
And as I've said before, the international community are quite tired now of what is happening in South Sudan, because precisely when the war, before the war even, when the CPA was signed, you remember very well, it was the United States and other European countries who invested a lot of financial resources to ensure that the agreement holds, and also to ensure that the right of self-determination for the people of South Sudan is carried without any hindrance from the regime in Khartoum. The Americans in particular, they were very optimistic because they did believe strongly in the ideals of South Sudanese people. They believed in what SPLM stood for in the time of the struggle, which is democracy, justice, equality, and respect to human rights. These were cardinal principles that the Western countries believed in. Now, you see from 2005 to 2011, the SPLM that was heavily supported by the international community let down not only the people of South Sudan, but also the international community. The aspiration and the thought that South Sudan could be a model like Israel in the Middle East, where it is democratic among the dictatorial regimes around it, did not take place. Rather, the government was taken by a weak leadership, inept leadership of SPLM under the President Kir Mayardi. What we saw, it was a divergence from the political and the ideals for which the SPLM was formed on, and for which the SPLM was demanding to stand for, and also the creation of the new Sudan as a political reality. But what we saw was a different from the SPLM of a revolutionary movement to an SPLM in the government. The SPLM in the government became corrupt. The resources, the enormous resources that was at its disposal, all these resources were looted, directly or indirectly. The president was incapable of taking any tangible action against those perceived to be corrupt. Also, there was no really a democratic transformation in sense, even within the SPLM as a party itself. SPLM was struggling to come out from a liberation movement into a governing political movement, you know. So I think that also gave some wake-up call. But nevertheless, the international community thought maybe the confines and the restrictions that are there within United Sudan may be preventing the SPLM from achieving their political objectives. So when the independence came, people thought now it is time, and you could see Jongkor, all of us were very happy, were celebrating it. Even the Americans and other European countries, they help us to hold referendum centers where South Sudanese went and voted, you know, freely. And this was held through, you know, various, it was carried out through various states in the US. For example,
I drove for 16 hours with my pregnant woman.
Yeah, exactly. Many people, myself, for example, I had to, because I was working at the mission in New York that time, and we have to move from New York to come and vote in Boston because the polling station was in Boston. So people were very optimistic. People were looking for a better, stable South Sudan that is far from the tribulation of wars, South Sudan that is far from famine, South Sudan that will be anchored on democracy and development. But within a short period of time, 2 years after our independence, the greed within the SPLM political and military elites led to the genocide that took place in Juba. We have to call the spade by its name. It was a genocide because genocide means when you're targeting an ethnic group, partly or wholly, you know, that's what happened in Juba. So ethnic cleansing took place in Juba as the beginning. As a result, also, the SPLM-IO forces also massacred innocent civilians in Bor, in other parts, and including Malakal, you know, Malakal. And this was also war crimes. It was a heinous crimes. And this has never been witnessed in a president. That was never witnessed by South Sudanese, even during our war with the Northern Sudan, you know, that people could be killed innocently, slaughtered, you know, just for their tribal affiliation, innocent civilians in the villages. So this shocked the international community, Jongkor, to the core. The international community, they were completely sick. They could not believe what was taking place. You know, they thought these are the people that were helping all along. These are people who came here and were talking about the ideal of democracy and so forth. Now, that was on the other side. But another issue also, in particular with our relations with the US, because US has been really a greater partner to the SPLM in terms of helping the political and diplomatic morale that and political and diplomatic support that need to be given. Salva Kiir, many times he came to the US, and I remember during President Obama's time, there was an accusation that SPLM was supporting the SPLM North, which is Division 9 and Division 10, you know, respectively, which is the Blue Nile and the Southern Kordofan. And when Obama point blank asked him, President, are you insisting these people, are you assisting them in any way? And Kiir blatantly also lied in his face that I'm not, you know, to which President Obama was completely disappointed, because he had CIA reports, he had the Pentagon reports on the movements and so forth. You know, the American has their capabilities, apart from human intelligence, they have resources to check what is going on. So this was the first time that, you know, a president could lie to them. And you know how the US and the Western world works. You know, for a president of a country to point blankly lie, you know, to someone who's supposed to be friend, it was a really serious offense. Also, most of us, because that time I was at the United Nations, we were the first group to open the mission there with the brothers in the UN to open the South Sudan mission. When we first opened the mission, there was really a lot of support and I don't know what to say. There was really euphoria among all the people that you could come across. People were proud that you're from South Sudan. They were coming to ask us, do you need any help? Do you need scholarships? You know, what do you need? And so forth. People were really wanting to help us. But when the war broke out in 2013, all these expectations and this hope that South Sudan will achieve stability and will achieve democratic transformation disappeared. What was replaced instead was anarchy, people who cannot rule themselves, people who are leaders who are very, they're not concerned for the suffering and the plight of their people who are only born to kill innocent civilians. So this took place. And then the international community, the TROIKA and the Americans in particular, they sponsored the peace talk for 2 years, from 2013 to 2015. Yes. And they were actually not observers; they were actually participants, and they were taking their role in terms of reaching consensus. So they invested a lot of money, hoping that this agreement will hold and that South Sudanese, they will overcome the difficulties that they had. But nevertheless, since the agreement was signed, it did not even last long. Within a year, again, these leaders who were involved in these peace talks and who committed themselves internationally that it will never happen again, we are going home, peace has come, they started fighting again in J1, what became known the July fight, or what we call the dog fight in J1, abrogating the agreement that was signed. So the international community now lost hope in the leadership in South Sudan. They felt the leaders are completely abrasive on you know, of their feelings of their people. So when the ARCSS process started in December 2017, you see that most of the international community, including TROIKA, are only observers. You know, they did not really take an active part as they used to do during the peace talk that started from 2013 to 2015. They just took a back seat to see how things will develop. And hence, they wanted really a serious reform. They wanted democratization of the country. They wanted the respect to human rights and all this. And when the cessation of hostilities was signed on 21st of December, they were very optimistic now, this thing that, you know, this peace agreement will hold. But within even 1 week of signing it, or even 3 days, again, people started fighting. So what I'm trying to narrate here, Jongkor, is to say that there was a pattern. There was a pattern when South Sudan was having the capital support, the moral and the political and diplomatic support from the international community. We blew it up. Our leaders blew it up. So the international community now are really not ready to invest in South Sudan. And you could see they put a provision in the so-called revitalized ARCSS. They said in order to test the political will of the government of South Sudan, you need to open a trust fund where you get $100 million US to show your commitment that this time you're committed to the peace process, in letter and in spirit, and therefore will be able to assist you and help you. But this, of course, did not happen. Now we're going to the 5th month since the agreement has been signed, the pre-transitional periods. 5 months is finishing. We're only left with 3. And there's not much hope, there's no 100 million put into there. And not only that, the country now is in chaos. There's a complete full-out scale war in Greater Equatoria. And this also tells you that there's no peace in the country, because peace, in a simple definition, is the absence of war, So the international community, they cannot invest in a country that, and a leadership that have not shown themselves to be responsible enough to be helped. And therefore, that is why Michael Makuei now is feeling the pinch, because they thought they will fool the international community. International community will come and pour millions of dollars, At the same time, they continue dragging their feet. Michael Makuei should urge his government to implement the provisions of the agreement that they have signed first, so that he could say, look, we have implemented our part of the agreement, and you also need to implement your part. But they are not doing it, and they're crying for the help. So I don't think help will be forthcoming. The US, they have already made it clear. I think they have already made it clear in terms of how they're going to deal with the government in Juba. To them, I think, from the diplomatic language, the subtle diplomatic language they're sending, they cannot really work with this government that their hands are full of blood of their own innocent people. A government that its leadership has committed atrocities. You have people that have been sanctioned by the international community, and they're active members of the government. For example, the chief of his staff, is a man that his name is in the United Nations sanctions. You bring him to be a chief of staff of the army. What are you telling the international community? It is an insult to them. So how do you
even the spokesperson of the government, the spokesman or the spokesman?
Yeah, even the spokesman, Michael Makuei himself. How do you expect these governments that are based on the norms and the tradition, the custom of international politics, to deal with a government that has thugs in them? You cannot accept this, to happen. Therefore, I don't see the international community really putting more money into these peace talks. So far, we know very well that the implementation of the agreement, especially the institutions that were built like Citizen and Jiel, it is the Americans and the TROIKAs who have been putting up the bills, even the peace.
Yeah, we lost your volume, Emmanuel.
On foreign policy, and they're cutting down. They're cutting down in terms of international financial help to the countries and to the UN peacekeeping forces. So if America is curtailing or is cutting down from resources, I'm quite sure it's a matter of time. These organs of the citizens and GMAC and so forth that have been empowered, to evaluate and implement to evaluate the agreements, will not be able to function. And if they're not able to function, then the agreement, of course, eventually will collapse. And that is why I think Michael Makuei is making a lot of noise. Now, coming to the second
But before you go to the second point, what happened when the peace deal signed in Khartoum? Actually, they attached it with cooperation agreement as something to do with oil, knowing that actually they are going to produce the oil and then they will get the fund that they needed. So they didn't need the international community at that time, for funding. What happened to oil money? And not too long ago, they paid $24 million to al-Bashir. So what happened to money that they, the oil that they have been drilling and selling?
Well, I think this is a big question. That is why sometimes we were saying it's unfortunate, because I know you have been trying honestly to invite some government officials to come and talk to the people of South Sudan to tell us, what is going on, especially answering your pertinent question of the money. South Sudan is getting money. The oil is being pumped. It is actually a surprise. It is actually a puzzle to everybody. We don't know where the money is going, because if the money is going to the payment of salaries of the civil servants, we would have seen a better improvement in the life of the civil servants. But now we could see civil servants are going for months Some are going for years, especially in the foreign service. So the money is not going to the salaries of the civil servants. Now, let's say that the money is going to the basic services in terms of hospitals, building schools and infrastructure. Again, when you look across the country, there's nothing. The money is not going anywhere. But I will tell you where the money is going to. The money now, we are realizing that the government in Juba is signing security deals with Uganda to come and protect them. Okay, we are hearing about 150 million deal that has been signed, for the Ugandan troops to come and protect the incompetent regime of Kir Mayardi that is in Juba. Also, we know, for example, that our oil, the oil of South Sudan, is being mortgaged by the government. The government now, through the Deputy Minister of Information, Lini Akolakol, she was talking a couple of days ago that the cabinet have agreed to pay 10,000 barrels a day crude oil to the Chinese. So in turn, the Chinese have to build the roads. So we don't even know the terms of this agreement or the contract between the government of South Sudan and this Chinese government that they're being paid 10,000. We don't even know how long they'll be paid for. We don't know what are they paid for, what roads are there. There's no even clarity, there's no transparency. And this is how things are run in the government in Juba. There's no accountability, there's no transparency. The government is running South Sudan as if it's a personal bank of President Kiir. There's no accountability. The parliament that is supposed to be the safeguards, or the watchdog of the community, they are sleeping. They're being bribed now and then. They give them $40,000, this for car allowance, while the teachers are not getting their salaries and the doctors. They're given now, recently I heard $16 million, where each and everybody or one of them will take $5,000 to go and visit their constituency, to preach peace, while people are really suffering in the country. So it tells you these dudes who are sitting in the parliament are not there for the people of South Sudan. They're just there for themselves and to protect the interests of Salva Kiir and the corrupt elites around him. So the money is going to protecting and entrenching themselves in the government at the expense of the country bleeding. But the question also is, the South Sudanese people who are suffering, how long will they continue suffering the silence? It's time for everything. Countries now like Sudan, the youth are taking on the street because they felt the pinch of economical difficulties that the government of NIF has imposed on them. The people of South Sudan, they have been suffering, tremendously. But people have been quiet. The government, if the parliament has been compromised, parliament does not advocate for you. It is the right of the people, to advocate for themselves. Yes. They need to really demonstrate, or even start holding strikes, so that the government is compelled to look at the difficult economical situation that they're living in. So the money is there, but the government is corrupt. It doesn't want to pay the civil servants. It doesn't want to build the infrastructure. It doesn't want to carry the basic needs of the people. The money is there to bribe the political sycophants that they have, and to keep them happy for Kiir to continue.
Yeah. Okay. So now I can allow you to go to the next question. Does that mean, with what Makuei said here, that there is U.S. is sponsoring and harboring NAS leader Thomas Jiel in attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan? Are these allegations are true?
Makuei talks as if he was not in the SPLM before. When SPLM was capturing Kurmuk, I remember very well, Sadiq al-Mahdi and the rest, they were coming saying that it is the American and the Israelis who are providing artillery, to the SPLA. It is a concept that, the rebel has no capability or ability to fight them. This must be some, unknown, foreigners coming to help. Michael Makuei is always known for uttering irresponsible statements, which is not really deserve a position of a spokesperson of a government. Now, when you come up, and he's a lawyer, unfortunately, when you make such allegations, it's really very, very unfortunate, because these allegations are unfounded. The example is trying to say, he said, we know who took Thomas from Khartoum when he left Khartoum. We knew where he went and who took him where, you know, trying to imply that it is the US. If the US, Jongkor, was helping Thomas or us in the South Sudan National Democratic Alliance, trust me, Kir will not be there for 6 months. Kir will not be there for 6 months. What is happening and the struggle and the resistance that is being carried out by our colleagues in NAS and our colleague also is SNMC, it is purely South Sudanese who are resisting a tyrant. They are fighting a war that has been imposed on them, and they are fighting with all determination to defeat this incompetent and corrupt regime of Kir. Americans, they're not helping Thomas. I can tell you that Americans are not helping any opposition, and if Americans are there to help us, Makuei will not be talking in Juba. He will have to run somewhere, you know. So these are just a kick of a dying horse, you know. When the regime has nobody to blame, they want to blame somebody, you know. And this is not the first time we're hearing such an utterance and irresponsible statement from Michael Makuei. So I can assure you, there's no grain of truth behind such allegations.
So that means now this is a sounding alarm for peace to collapse, actually, because since the TROIKA actually have already told the government of South Sudan, you have to come up with trustee $100 million, put in the account, and then we will match it up. And now they are just, you know, relaxing. They don't want to do it. They're using the oil money. They are dividing this money, you know, among themselves. And they can see what's happening now. We are approaching, you know, May, very soon, or April, the months that they said they are going to form the government of whatever you call it, national unity. So does that speak that this peace agreement actually, it was born dead?
The agreement Maulud made is an agreement that was born dead completely, Jongkor, because if you look at the agreement, it did not address the root causes of the conflict in the country. But of importance to the discussion and to the intransigent position of the government of Juba, the agreement was a tactical maneuvering from the government. What the government wanted was legitimacy for them to continue in power. The agreement gives them that legitimacy. The agreement talks about 3 years and 8 months, which is almost يعني 4 شهور إلا. I mean 4 سنين إلا يعني 4 شهر. شفتها? So it's almost 4 years. Now Kir has already got that, and this is what he wanted. The next thing he will do, of course, whether the opposition now are complaining, the IO, they have made a statement, I think that was on the 29th, regarding the problem with JIMAG, accusing JIMAG of breaching, violating the agreement, especially on the issue of decentralization and versus federalism. We have also the National Democratic Movement under Dr. Lam. A couple of weeks ago, they also made an evaluation, thorough evaluation of the agreement and its implementation. So all this, you could see that the agreement is not going well. Even the partners that are supposed to be working together and, you know, advocating for the implementation and convincing us that this thing is working, they are also not satisfied. Okay. Now, if partners in the agreement are not satisfied, and also it seems the agreement is being reopened for discussion even now in various committees, which is not supposed to be their jobs, it tells you that the agreement is going nowhere. This agreement is just a pie in the sky. You know, it will not be implemented by Kir, and it's good for Kir because Kir is not feeling any pressure from anybody. You know, he has already committed himself in the agreement. He has been given the mandate to continue being in power. So why is he in a hurry? He doesn't care. He thinks now he can buy the opposition. He has divided Sawa already. Who knows? He may even divide the Iowa tomorrow. You know, so you could have this opposition that have signed an agreement with Kir disintegrating. You know, some of them getting dissatisfied, some of their generals again going back to the bush, or even some of them coming and joining the South Sudan National Democratic Alliance. So this is the reality that we have in the country. It's very unfortunate that the government only interest is to maintain itself in power rather than really solving the political, economic, and social ills that are taking place in our country.
So that at the end, I can conclude this agreement, which is signed by SUA and IO, you know, gave another prescription drugs to someone who is going to die, actually, you know, because he was announced dead. Because we see amount of pressure from the international community, you know, a couple of months back, you know, we can see what was happening. But now they say, oh, well, man, we are there, you know, we are back to life, and nothing is going to happen. That's what we are seeing right now. Now, Emmanuel, I must ask you this last question before I let you go. You see that the oil money have been used, you know, to bribe the member of parliament, which is, I call them the cheerleaders always, so they can keep the president, you know, in power forever. And the money actually have been divided, you know, even before they reach the Central Bank of South Sudan. We have seen that. We have evidence, and I have a lot of information about all these things. Now, South Sudanese people have been suffering for quite a long time. Do we have any hope under Kir administration that South Sudan is going to be a just country, a country that would see a peace, would be stable? Do we have any little window of hope there? This is my last question.
Jongkor, President Kir has been president of Southern Sudan from 2005 to 2011, yes, and president of Republic of South Sudan from 2011 to now, to the present. So Kir, I think, would have ruled South Sudan for almost 14 years collectively. 14 years. Now, 14 years, if you take it in terms of the life expectancy or the life expanse of a democratic government, which let's say is 4 years, it is almost 3 going to 4 presidential terms. Okay, 4 presidential terms as a president. Yes. Now let us look at what Kir has achieved even. Okay, when you look at the issues of infrastructure in the country, we don't have any to talk about. Juba, even the capital Juba, is just nothing but a big village.
The only road that was built, Tarmac Road, Jubilee Normal Road, was by America.
By the Americans. USA. Okay. So there's no infrastructure in the country. There's no, even in Juba, people are having problem with clean running water. You cannot even provide taps. Juba population are lesser than the population of Texas. You know, Juba Sukano Basit, you know, you can't even provide them clean running water. And you have the Nile just is there, you know. People, there's no security in not only Juba, but in the whole country. There's cattle wrestling in the greater Barghazal. There is war in Equatoria. There's a semi kind of a state of war and peace in Upper Nile, you know. So the country, Kir, within 13 years has never achieved anything, or 14 years, anything tangible or anything to speak of. So why will people have hope on a 14 has been given 14 years of rule and he has nothing to do? Yes, someone also say he's grabbing people's lands. He has created an enmity between communities fighting among themselves, you know, in various parts of the country. He's now even targeting the people of Awil, you know, based on the ethnicity, thinking that anybody from Awil must be a potential supporter of Mulonga one. So this man has divided South Sudan on tribal basis. He has divided South Sudan on clan basis. He has divided South Sudan on sectarian basis, you know. So we don't see any hope or any prosperity Kir can bring to South Sudan. Kir, if he need to do South Sudanese a favor, he should just step down. Just go best, you know, and give other people a chance. Kir has been given more than he deserves, and it is time for Kir to go home and leave people of South Sudan alone, and for South Sudanese to elect their new leaders. Kir has nothing to offer to the people of South Sudan. He has failed as a leader. He will go down in the history of South Sudan as a leader that has failed his people, you know, at a critical time when the people of South Sudan were hoping that they have their country, they will live in peace and prosperity. So in a nutshell, Kir has nothing to offer. His presidential record has nothing clean about it. It's all about war and genocide. And these will remain in the memory of South Sudanese people regarding human rights atrocities, sectarianism, tribalism, and grabbing lands of the other people. So this president has no usefulness to be there. He has to go.
Emmanuel Ajawin of SSNDA. It's always good to having you, brother, on the show. Very articulate point there and thoughtful. Thank you so much. And please stick around. We may need you back.
I will.
Thank you.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, brother Jongkor. Bye-bye.
All right, let me go ahead here and bring those other South Sudanese who are waiting for us. While I'm doing that, let me go ahead and do this. I still have more guests, so please, if you are there, go ahead and send in your request. Dr. Sandy Dijon or Atileo Abu Yasmine. All right, Abdalla Garang or Apuk Maror, Sabata Ramba, and Thuc Kuec, Dr. Ater and Dr. Francis. If one of you is available, you may send in a request so I can bring you in and hear your insight as well. Okay, let me go for Sandy Dijon, Dr. Sandy Dijon. If you are available now, if you are not ready, it's okay. I can go for another person, and then I can get back to you as well. Dr. Sandy Dijon. It's adding up. Okay, Sandy Dijon, it looks like there is something there, or maybe you are not ready. So I may need to move here to get other one who is available. So Atileo Abu Yasmine, if you are available, you may send in your request. Or Dr. Ater, I know if you wake up or you're still awake. Miss Apuk Maror, also if you are awake. I know it's really early morning in Sydney, Australia. So we wanted to move on. I don't want to keep our viewers boring here. So this is very, very important discussion tonight. Francis Malwal, if you are available, Dr. Francis, you may go ahead and send in your request so I can bring you live. Dr. Francis, I know you may be up there. Thank you, my dear brothers and sisters. While we are waiting for those individuals, you guys can send in your requests and I can hear your perspective. South Sudanese can hear your perspective as well. So you are highly welcome to send in a request at this moment. Oh, Sabata Ramba, I saw you there. I'm going to go ahead and try and bring you in. It looked like, Sabata, you are not in camera. Your camera declined. He said, I can't bring you in the camera. You might have some issue there with it. So. I hope the network is working for you guys, fine there. Like I said, if this thing is okay, you may go ahead and send in a request now. Go ahead and send in a request, and then I can bring you live, please. It is time for you to do that. Okay. So we don't want to keep you bored, because those individuals look like majority of them are not here. But we'll be okay. All right, let me go ahead and play this wonderful song here while I'm looking for those individuals to come and join us. As I said, you may go ahead and send in your requests. Actually, send in your request. Yeah, if you are back, Sabata, go ahead and send in a request actually, because it looked like your camera was not on, but now if you are on, go ahead and send me a request, then I can bring you. All right. All right, go ahead and send me a request, Sabata. I don't know what happened to you. Until now, Mafizora sell a request inside. After Mr. Emmanuel Ajawin spoke, much I made requests coming in. You might have some issues with the network or something like that, but I want you to send a request so we can move on. Sabata, I'm calling you right now. And it's adding. I hope you are in a place that have a good network. Sabata Ramba, welcome to Constitution of South Sudan. Malaysia, dear brother, maybe you are driving, but you know.
Yes, Jongkor.
Yes. Italisa, are you ready to talk?
I'm ready to talk. Let me just step back here so that the sun doesn't hit my face so bright.
No problem. Yeah, go ahead and get yourself ready. No problem. Get yourself ready.
Is this better?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brother Jongkor, for hosting me. And I would also want to thank all the guests who have come online. I also want to thank Ahuna Maulana, yes, for giving a very precise argument on the statements that Makuei actually has said. You see, Brother Jongkor, we have already said this sometimes back when these terms of this peace has been signed.
Yes.
That this peace is not good for the people of South Sudan. It is not going anywhere. And the terms of the peace actually indicate that those who are signing the peace are basically surrendering to the regime, okay? Right now, what we are seeing is, as you might have noticed on the 29th, the FDs have went in and they have already joined the SPLM.
Except Paganamum.
Tomorrow next, except Paganamum. Tomorrow you don't know what would happen with the IO, okay? The SOA have no teeth. Kir is not worried about the terms that he has signed. South Sudanese should not worry, or South Sudanese should not think that Kir is taking these terms that have been signed seriously. This agreement is dead because they know that even if they don't sign, even if they don't implement this agreement, those people who have already signed the revitalized ARCSS and went inside to implement the peace are not going to do anything because pretty much they have surrendered. Okay? Yes, they have already surrendered all their rights. So basically, there is nothing, Brother Jongkor, such as implementation of peace.
Yes.
People of South Sudan should not waste their time waiting on those terms to be implemented. As a matter of fact, people of South Sudan should be worried at this time. And what should they worry about? They should worry about reunification of the SPLM. It is beginning. This is the beginning. Okay? And eventually, as time go by, those who have already signed the revitalized ARCSS, given that they know they do not have any teeth to do anything, they would just use reunification as an scapegoat, and they will go back to the SPLM. You rather eat than just die a natural death like that, okay? And once the rest of the guys, like the IO and those who are in power, also join in the SPLM, then the party of crooks are going to start again, okay? Everybody is going to be engulfed in, and then they're just going to continue looting the resources of the country. So this is what the citizens should be worried about, that the money that they should be benefiting from, be it in improving their infrastructure, improving in their education, improving in their healthcare system.
Continue.
Yes. All these benefits are going to be forfeited. They are not going to see those benefits any longer. This is a very unfortunate situation. However, Brother Jongkor, what I'm going to say is this. South Sudanese should learn something.
Yes.
South Sudanese should learn something, at least from history, of all the countries who have actually advanced. That the sharp Bitadola have roles to play as far as change of direction of political dispensation in their country is concerned. Sharp Bitadola should not only always sit and wait al assassino finas tanin moyanin ya yijibu change ama في سياسيين معينين
لكن يا سباتا
في داخل
بيتوقف على وعي قومي لانه لو في وعي قومي يعني مثلا let's say South Sudan is different than the North Sudan, giving يعني التركيبه الاجتماعيه والوضع ذاته والثقافي في فوارق, there are big differences here, and I think from my perspective that's why they are not moving, you know. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Are you saying it is because of the fact that we are socially constructed in different tribes, that's why we are not coming together and moving? Is that what you're saying?
Not that. What I'm saying here, المستوى بتاع الفهم والثقافة ذاته is still not quite there. Like right now, you can see protests الحاصل في الشمال, المظاهرات الحاصل في الشمال زي ما في أخ ذكر مبارك. المظاهرات ده ما قاعدين يقول يا أخي عاملين مظاهرات ضد الجعليين ولا الشايقين، عاملين مظاهرات you know against the NCP حكومة بتاع الجبهة الإسلامية المؤتمر الوطني اللي هنا السرقوا عرقهم والسرقوا حقوقهم والقتلوهم, right? So it's the same
yes.
الفهم ده عندنا في جنوب السودان is still not there. Because people are divided through ethnic line, you know. Some people actually they may see SPLM like it's a tribe. Some people they may see actually a country as a tribe. And that's why we are stuck there. And that's why you see them, they are not moving anywhere, you know. Go ahead.
I agree with you. However, material that people should learn from are always available out there. Even in this social media. Jongkor, your show, you have been making this show. There are other people also who have been making shows, and many things have been said. Now the question is, are the people even willing to learn from the things that are always being said? Or everybody just comes up and with a blocked mind comes and sits here, whatever material that gets presented, so long as it does not correspond to what you have in mind, you just dump everything. Yes, if we are not willing to open up to new ideas, yes, that becomes problematic. And we will always see a situation where some elites in the country will come and just benefit from the resources of the country, and then the people will always be impoverished. And I don't know for how long this is going to continue. It will always start from an individual himself to start changing the mind. You see, open up, get some new ideas, and realize that, oh yes, I cannot continue to identify myself or support the very government who has always looted my resources and kept me poor and has not even educated my children or established good hospital in case my child falls sick. You see, so it is up to the people to start opening up. Otherwise, if people are not opening up, then I think all the shows that we have been that people put in on the line and people come and speak will all be in vain. It will just be like, you know, Jesus says when you spread seeds and they fall on rocks so that the wind comes and blows them out, then they don't germinate. So it's like there is no use actually for going out and preaching the word, right?
No, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't think so. We can make that a contrast because right now we are making a lot of differences. We are making a lot of differences. People are learning from what we do, the material we are putting out there. Even within the country, back home, we are changing, you know, the public opinion, you know, the way people are thinking, it is changing. People are learning and they are absorbing a lot of good things. So I will not be like, you know, pessimistic that the word that we are, you know, preaching or what we are doing is going to be chalked somewhere under the rock. No, we will get there. A lot of things will be okay. So continue.
Well, thank you very much. Now you have given me the hope to continue now. Yes. So basically what I'm pretty much saying is, yes, it may not be overnight, but let us all come to realize that brothers and sisters, you know, from the time our country has been established, it has been established on a wrong frame. It has been established in a wrong system. It has been established in a system where only one party tries to dominate the government and takes absolute power in their hands. And we have seen this go through actually during the revitalized forum. Again, Kir just wants power to be consolidated in his hands. And it is for that reason, that's why we have actually seen ARCSS actually failed in 2016, because a particular group of people want to consolidate power in their hands. This cannot be. Power must be shared. Power must be shared. Different opinions must be accommodated, and our elected representatives should sit down and see which one is going to be good for all the South Sudanese nationals. You see, and yes, we are socially constructed in tribes. And I think it's high time now, let us start leaving the ideas of tribalism so much. If you use your tribal, nature to advance something good, to present your culture out, to decorate your culture, so that you make it good, so that other people like it, it is good. You're using tribalism for a positive thing, but not for a negative. Yes, we don't want our tribes to be used for negative, or for some elites to come around and use particular group of people to back up ill intentions, grabbing resources of a country and trying to only advance the interests of particular group of people. Those kind of ideas are not good, you know, and there is no point for anybody from the South Sudanese citizen to come out and back the government who is actually exercising or advancing those kind of interests. So my message to the people of South Sudan, brothers and sisters,
but
our country right now.
Before you send that message, what transpired, Makuei Lueth, for all these statements? You know, what's going on? They were saying that they have that ability, they have money, they will drill the oil, they are cooperating with al-Bashir. But all of a sudden now they start saying, oh, we don't have money. The TROIKA is not giving us money. We are not going to implement this peace, and so forth. What transpired, you know, to just all of a sudden is spelling out all these statements, you know?
Okay, this is because, as I had said, that these elites don't want to share power. Now, when you look at this revitalized forum, they are even though they are consolidating power, but at least there is some number of seats.
Give me 1 second. I want to respond to one guy here. Angelo Deng. This is laughable. This guy, what I've heard so far, I have heard that he has been going to college for more than 20 years. You know, to learn is the doctrine. And yet he's not a doctor. And now he's saying such a weird thing here. He's saying people are not learning from what we do here. We are not learning from what we do here. Mr. Doctor, who is not doctor yet. If you are not learning, why are you here? That's my simple question. If you don't learn this, I think you should just excuse yourself if you are not learning from anything. The other people are learning, actually. They are learning, and we are changing the way public think. All right? Please, we are not reckless students. We study and we know what we are doing to our people. I'm not going to go to college and spend 20 years and not earning that doctor that you're dreaming of. Please knock it up. And I hope, you know, please, if you can make you understand. Yeah, go ahead, please continue.
Okay, yes. Thank you, brother. And yes, as I've said, those of Makuei and their elites, those cohorts who are actually holding power in their hands, want absolutism. They want total authority. They want total power in their hands, so that they manage the resources of the country the way they want, without sharing power with anybody. That will be a distraction. That is why, at this point,
Yes.
when they know that the rest of the parties have already come in and have come in under terms as though they have actually surrendered, and there is nothing they are going to do, even if they toss the entire agreement under the bus. That is why they are behaving the way they are behaving right now. But Brother Jongkor, if the terms of this peace were that the armies of the IO or the armies of anybody who would be going inside will be kept separate, and that the terms of the peace will be implemented by letter and spirit, or else that could take people back to another situation of a war that might make the international community come up with plan B, Makuei won't be saying the things that he has been saying. But Makuei looks at the other guys as though they have already lost all teeth. They are not going to bite. So it doesn't matter, even if they toss the agreement under the bus, it will be even better to them than implement those agreements by letter and spirit. Because implementing the terms by letter and spirit would necessitate them to give at least certain portion of the ministerial seats and parliamentary seats to the SPLM-IO and to the SOA, which they don't want. Yes.
Well, Sabata Ramba, thank you so much, for coming on and adding your perspective. Your insight was so articulate, thoughtful. Thank you, sir. And please stick around. We may bring you back again, Loidata Darura, so you can have more and more. Thank you so much, sir. And please drive safe there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, yeah, Jama. If you are there, just go ahead and send a request. Yes, I responded to this brother because from what I know so far, if you are not learning from our program and you are coming every time and you are not learning, then there is no point, you continue to watch because it's not good, it's not suit for you, right? Listen, we are not students that can go to school and spend 20 years, to earn a bachelor or to earn a doctorate and just still keep going. If it's not working for you, I think you should quit then. And this is what we have been saying in the country. If the president cannot do what is right, if he doesn't know how to administrate the country, and then leave it, because that's not good for you actually. You can find other careers which are good for you. That's the way people think work in life. But you cannot just throw in those stupid statements. Oh, people are not learning from you. If you cannot learn, if you go to school and you cannot learn, there are other people actually who have a guts to learn. There is other people also who come here to this program with energy and put that energy and pay attention and learn. And if you are not those people, then it's not good for you. And even though you go to school, you're not going to learn them. So we don't want those, who just want us. They are not optimistic and they don't want to learn and they don't want others to learn. We reject that. We reject that totally. We are always optimistic and we want to learn. And if you want to be one of those, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. But don't pull us down because simply you cannot get it. If you cannot get it, there's other people actually will get it. They are willing and they have that what it takes to learn. So thank you. So my dear brothers, go ahead and send me your requests and I can bring you and add your point. Dr. Francis Malwal, I think I saw you somewhere. You may go ahead and send in the request now, and then I can bring you because you one of the people on my guest list. Send me requests, and I'll bring you in. Okay, Dr. Francis, we are ready. I'm calling you right now. Francis. Yes, thank you, Charles. So I'm calling you Francis. I'm calling you right now, Dr. Francis. Go ahead and answer, please. I don't know, Dr. Francis, if you are there. I'm calling you right now, but it looks like there is no response. Okay, sure. Get a short Magun. It was a little bit high, right? No problem. So let me go ahead and see who's. So Madula, you now today you are here. Yesterday we were talking issues about Will, and you chose not to come. Dr. Francis, I'm trying one more time. Please go ahead and answer.
Jongkor.
Dr. Francis, ahlan wa sahlan. Good to see you, brother.
يا أهلا وسهلا ونعيما يعني.
الله عليك يا دكتور فرانسيس. قبل ما نخش في النقاش يا اخي الطالب لو ما قاعد يفهم كل يوم قاعد يمشي مدرسه ما قاعد يفهم اوكي هو بيضطر انه يقول على طلبه ثانيين اللي بيمشي سكول they want to learn يقول لهم ما نمشي سكول ولا يخلي الناس اللي يمشوا وهو بس يمشي يقعد يشوف له طلبه ولا حاجه.
This is a troublemaker actually.
You know,
Yeah,
because I don't get it.
Yeah, because actually
you should not measure your failure. انت لو ما قاعد تفهم you should not measure the level of your understanding with others. لأن في ناس أساسا قد يفهموا أكثر منك أو يفهموا أقل منك. Why do you want to tell them, oh, people are not getting it, people are not learning? It's because you are not learning, people are not learning.
Yeah, ما في زول تاني طبعا بيشوف إنه he does not have an interest to learn, and therefore also he hate other people to learn, so he want everybody to be like him.
And that's not good. That's not good at all.
I hope that you can hear my voice well, because actually I have a little bit of cough. Yeah, but I hope the voice is clear.
You sound very clear.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon and good morning and good evening for those people in Africa.
Yes.
So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I think the statement that was made by Michael Makuei is an expression of disappointment from the government side that the TROIKA is not willing to support the peace agreement financially. And for them also, they have forgotten that when TROIKA say that they will support the agreement, there were some conditions that were put down there. And the government was supposed to do their homework by showing an interest and willing to implement the agreements. So the TROIKA warned that the government, they want to make sure that the parties are serious and they want to implement the agreement, and they have going to put their own money first before other people can come and put money. But the government actually, they were very naive. They thought that TROIKA was not serious about these conditions. And they thought the situation would be like after 2005, when the peace agreement was signed, and all the international community, they went and just push in a lot of money into the country. But that was not the situation right now. So basically for them is an expression of disappointment that the TROIKA is not willing. But when you look into the situation of South Sudan,
but why would they be disappointed, and why would they be alarmed? They are aware already. The TROIKA said you need to put $100 million in the account to show the seriousness from your side that actually you are going to implement this, and we will come with our $100 million or more than that. You cannot just say I wanted to do this and you don't have nothing. So why would they be be surprised.
Yeah, that this is the problem, because actually the government is used to easy money. They don't want going to work hard and get money, because when you look into the situation of South Sudan during the war, we were investing a lot of money in the war, and now since there is a peace, this money should be channeled. The money that were used in the war should be channeled to the implementation of peace agreement. But these people, they don't want to do that, and these are an indication that maybe they don't want going to implement agreement, or they just want going to get money from outside. And because money is there, we've been seeing the parliament being given a lot of incentive, a lot of people that are being given incentive within the government. This is an indication that there is a money. So, but the question that everybody should ask today, if I have insecurity in my own house, why do I want the other people to come and pay to provide security within my own house? Because the peace does not belong to international community. The peace is belong to the people of South Sudan, and the people who are dying, these are your people. These are your ordinary citizens.
Yes.
So you should be more concerned about your own people rather than international community. But we are seeing the opposite right now. So it's a kind of ridiculous, it's a very ridiculous conditions, because I thought the government, even they don't need, if the international community say that we don't want to support the peace agreement, they should say, okay, let us mobilize all the resources that we have so that we can have peace, because the peace will save us $6 billion a year. That is a lot of money, you see. But it seems that there is something that is very difficult for you to understand from these positions. This is one thing. So the government is very disappointed about this one. They try going to, and they should blame themselves. They have not met the condition. This is one thing. The other thing also, their relationship with those countries also is affecting, because your external affair relation, you should fix it. You should have good relation with these people so that they can be able to help you. But you are going away, and you see the U.S. Foreign policy that have changed completely. So right now with the current government, if you are their ally, and then you have going to show that you are working with them. But if you are with Russia and China, so you go and seek support from those Russia and China. So what I look at it right now, the government is pro-China to Russia, and therefore they should go and look for funds from China and Russia, because the U.S. is not willing anymore to support any people who are with China, and they want going to money from the U.S. So
But the
because
question is, Dr. Francis, the question is, they tie the cooperation agreement, the oil, they tie it with the peace agreement. And now they start drilling. And I have heard that actually they were drilling, they're going to go to, 350 barrels a day, 1,000 a day. All right? Now, 2 weeks ago, they paid $20 million to Khartoum, right? Why is so difficult for them, to get the money to put on that account so they can get other money from international community too? Why is so difficult for them? If they can pay Khartoum, okay, and your people are suffering, why is so that difficult?
it's a matter of priorities. I don't know how the government prioritize their things. So because actually when you have unlimited resources, you should prioritize your things, and you see which one is so important, so that you can channel all the money to that important issue. So is the issue of peace very important to the government? If it was important, they would have channeled all the money to that things. But they see, like when they give money like $20 million to Khartoum,
24.
because actually the Khartoum is very important. That is a top priority for them. You see, so for them, maybe they're feeling that if Khartoum government collapse because of the economic hardship that they're going through and the uprising in Khartoum, so actually they would be in a very difficult situation. Maybe the oils, the agreement that they have will no longer go the same way. So I don't know, but it seems that the priority, since they have given the money to Khartoum, that means that is their top priority.
Oh, okay. Now, going back to this question, Makuei also made an allegation here. He alleged that U.S., the United States, sponsoring and harboring the National Salvation Front leader, Thomas Cirillo, in attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan. How true are these allegations?
Really, it's very difficult to tell whether it is true or it's not true actually, because you should, when you make any claim, you should support your claim by evidence. But for him, actually, he has not shown any evidence that could support his claim. So this one would be just only a statement that made on air without any support evidence. So, but the problem that you can see right now, there is
Yeah.
a vacant in terms of the relation of South Sudan and the US. There is a vacant, and if there is anybody that can step in and fill that vacant, so he could get support actually, because you have seen right now what is going on in the government is very disappointed about the leadership in South Sudan, especially the government of Salva Kiir, and you can see last time even the SPLM, they call SPLM as a terrorist organization, and then the government is a bad leadership. So all these things, it can tell you that the US is very frustrated about the current leadership in South Sudan. So if there is any potential leader who can fill that gap, they would support him. I'm not saying that they are supporting us, but that is analysis. So when you look, for example, like the situation in right now in Venezuela, okay, the US clearly they spell it out that they are supporting the opposition leader. Yeah. So basically, when you have the US has some interest in South Sudan, and they are unable to utilize the interest that they have in South Sudan. So the money that they invested since the signing of peace agreement in 2005 up to now, there is nothing positive that came out of it. So it's a kind of frustration. So if there is any opposition party there who is capable of filling that gap, likely he will get the support of the US.
Okay. So now, in this mess, so is Makuei Lueth is just sounding alarm that this peace is going to collapse, giving all this statement and persuasion and what is happening, and they don't want to take full responsibility because you signed the peace, you own it, it's for the people, and as you said, they should prioritize. And that priority should not be anything else. It should be the peace process. You know, it should be implementing the peace if they are really sincere about the deal that they have signed and they want to implement it and they want to do it. So now this is the second sounding alarm that the peace is collapsing as well.
It's very hard to tell actually, because you see in South Sudan situations, for you going to predict what is going to happen is very difficult. Why? Because these leaders are so emotional. They don't have any political calculation in such a way that you can see the benefit out weighing the corn and prawns there. So when you look into the situation, for example, like the FD situations, so we thought that the FDs, they were for change. They were fighting so that the change can come to the people of South Sudan. It's not because of their individual interests. But funny enough, we just got surprised that the FDs, the other group, they have went back and they already,
Working on reunification.
yeah, they are working for the reunification. Although by law, I'm not a lawyer, but by law, for them they are a part of opposition, and according to that, they were given some percentage to participate in the government. So when you go and jump into the SPLM again, so what is the motive actually? You see, so it's a very confusing thing, and the move that I would never expect those of former detainees to do that one, especially at this time, because they need even the interim government should be formed first, and then they see things that are going well and the implementation is going well, and if they are willing to rejoin the SPLM later on, maybe at later position. But at this time, actually, nobody would expect that the former detainee they were reunite with the SPLM at the current position. So it can tell you how these people actually they don't calculate their move according to even their benefit, because what would the former detainees gain from this unification? What would they gain? I don't think that there is anything that they could gain. Instead, they are giving the government a powerful position or the upper hand. We have seen already SAWA is
Another
almost
life.
collapsing right now.
Mhm.
So what is remain is just only the IO. I don't know whether they are rushing to get into unification because they want going to go there and secure the place before Dr.
The
Riek
position.
Machar come and is it a competitions or what? So it's very hard actually to predict what is going on in South Sudan because those leaders, they are not sincere because their objective is not very clear. What do you today? They can tell you this is our objective. We need a change, but has the change happened? The reason that they opted out from the SPLM has all these concerns being addressed? No, they are not addressed. So why are you rushing in? And this is the question that everybody has going to ask themselves, and they should come and tell us actually what happened, what is new.
Well, Dr. Francis, I must ask you this question. Thank you, for being articulate in your point and thoughts. Since you are son of Thuc Mayadit, last night, actually, we were talking about the targeting of youth, people of Madingaul, with the government saying that they are sympathizers with Paul Malone, SSUF. That's why we ask the question, what is the correlation between the community, Awul community, and SSUF? Now, I'm not going to ask you that question, but أنت ممكن تعلق فيه. يمكن تتعلق فيه وتورينا رأي بتاعك فيه. Like the question I wanted to ask. Now, the government of Salva Kiir Mayardit started recruiting sons and daughters of Thuc Mayardit again. And we don't know why are they recruiting them. Luckily, sons and daughters of Thuc Mayardit, they responded worldwide, effectively. So I want you to give us insight about that. Why are they recruiting sons and daughters of Thuc Mayardit right now? What is recruitment all about? And then give us a little bit, why are they targeting people of Medina particularly? So go ahead before I let you go, please.
You see the problem you see in South Sudan politics every time we go and impact about those tribe and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You see before the Tuch area was being targeted by the SPLM simply because of Malwal, which was there. And you have seen maybe in 2010 and a lot of problems that happened around that area.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, the things has changed completely, where actually Malwal become close to Salva Kiir again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing. But we in Tuch area, we think that even this government, we have nothing about it. We have nothing in it. Actually, if you look to the MP, we are not represented. If you look even to the ministers, we don't have anything.
Yes.
So we got nothing, and therefore, when they try going to mobilize people, the community there they reject it. So the sheep were taken to the camp, and then they were talk to them, and they try going to convince them that the recruitment has going to go on. But the people that they are recruiting who are there, these are only few people. Most of them they are in school. So why should they be coming and recruit from this area? So we rejected that one, and most of us we rejected. The people, if there is South Sudan, they need an army. They should call all the people of South Sudan, because actually they have going to come and join the army. It's not particular community that will become and call going to come and join the army. So we reject that move. If they want going to recruit, let them open it for all the people of South Sudan, across South Sudan. So everybody who's willing to come and join the army, they could come and join by themselves voluntarily. But people should not be forced going to join the army from particular community.
That's good. That's neat. And actually, that's why I'm saying that I applaud, sons and daughters of Thuc Mayardit worldwide, the way they responded, because that showed the sense of nationalism. That's, hey, we are for big country of South Sudan. We are not for any form of militia or form of, sectarian or whatever. That's really good. I really appreciate, the way they are responding it. So what is your intake, on the topic that we discussed last night? They have been targeting, sons and daughters of Medina. And actually, I have been getting a lot within Juba.
So I'm really wonder, because why? You see, I'm one of the people who were when I was in South Sudan, I'm one of the people who were opposing, because we have the general headquarters. The responsibility of the general headquarters is to call for the recruitment across South Sudan. Okay? But what was going on is what? Taban, somewhere in 2011, he was recruiting people in Bantu area, that he recruited them to Division 4. And then later on, the Equatoria, also they were starting recruiting for the Arrow boy, you see, the
Yes.
Arrow boy in Equatoria. So for me, I was, and even in Equatorial Conference in Juba, they were calling for that the Arrow boy should be in power so that they can be able to fight LRA. For my argument, I wrote an article by then in Juba, and my argument was saying, so what is the responsibility of the general headquarters of the SPLA? Why do we allow the governors to recruit people and they are not part of the general headquarters army? That is not their job. So what is the guarantee those people, when you recruit people and then you train them, and later on you have a difference with the government, you will use them as a militia because you are the one who brought them into the army. So we say this thing actually is going to create problem. And exactly it has happened. The Arab boy now you see, and then you see also the recruitment that happened along those Barghazal area, and the recruitment that was happened in Bantu. But our officials, they don't listen. So we need going to give why we establish an institution and then we take their job to other people. So the general headquarters, they need going to know that they are national army and they have going to be up to become as a national army. They have going to show us that they are national. And therefore, when they recruit, they open it across South Sudan. There is no thing that called political setting tribe should be targeted, so that we need going to increase that number. And that's why when people who were campaigning for the national army, I was telling them that the national army is not by ratio of tribe. That is not the national army. That is a tribal army. So we need people to have an opportunity to join the national army and serve within the national army. It's not
Willingly.
by ratio. Willingly,
Willingly. Yes.
yeah, willingly. So there is some people, there is some tribe whom actually they don't want to serve within the army, and nobody should force them. But when you make a ratio for any particular tribe, so if they don't turn out, so you have going to go and pursue them where they are living, so that you bring them by force. Do you think somebody who was brought into the army by force would be able to be effective soldier? I don't think so. So this thing actually we need going to reason thing, and we need going to opt into our national identity so that we can have that character.
Well, Dr. Francis, thank you. Dr. Francis Malwal, kunta maana fi concerned citizen of South Sudan. Very articulate point there. I know you didn't want to answer, the issue regarding, people of Northern Barghazal. But anyways,
No, it's okay. I just forget it.
Okay.
You see the problem? Yeah, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. You see the problem at Jongkor? We need going to be sincere, by the way. In the SPLM, before the crisis, what were going on? Every time that there is a recruitment, there is a ratio. Every general has going to bring his own people and put them. For example, if you need in the army, they bring their ratio. If you need some people within the police, they bring their ratio. And this ratio, they know who brought you to maybe to the police, who brought you to the army. And this ratio is the one who bring in the problem right now. So for example, maybe I'm from a will and I don't know Malong completely. But my uncle and whatever give my name to Malong, and then Malong recruit me, for example. So when Malong broke away, I become a target. Although I don't know, I never met Malong, I never talked to him and whatever. But
is it supposed to be that way? Because
yeah, I'm coming to this point right now. You see, but that is the practice that is going on. So somebody who brought you in and they just help you, because these things are done by quota and there is no way that people can come in other way. And sometimes when you need in a position, okay, you use that method so that you can get into the government. But later on you become a victim, because simply somebody who brought your name last time actually having to have a problem right now with the government. But is it the right way for us going to target these people? No, because these people, they're innocent. They don't have anything. They don't have. So what is my problem right now? Malong, is from Awil, for example, and he rebelled. Does it mean that all Awil people, they have rebelled? That is not true, because people should be judged on individual basis. Okay, and if I declare today that I'm part of Malong, and then after that they could be able to attack me. But for you to go and target certain people, and this is what they did to our area, by the way. You see, in our area, because of Uncle Bono Malwal, we've been targeted everywhere, even in the election when it is done in 2009. Our constituency was divided. Half of it was given to become a part of Ngok, and half of it was assigned to Mayana Bun, so that we don't have any MP. And it was just only because of Uncle Bono. We should not target that people because of that one. And we were telling them, ABA status up to now is not clear. So when you give a part of our area to become a part with constitution, with Rumamer to become a part of that constitution, you will give the NCP later on to come and claim this area and say it is a part of ABA. But our political immature is the one who created all these problems. So we should not be doing that. And everybody is free. And I have nothing to say that because somebody from my area rebelled, that means everybody has rebelled. That is a very bad policy, and we need to change that one.
Dr. Francis Malwal, it's always good to have you. Thank you so much, sir, for being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan discussion tonight. Please stick around. If we may need you, we may call you back again later. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my guests, if you are here, please go ahead and send me your request. I know I'm done with Dr. Francis, and then I still have a couple more people here. Atileo Abu Yasmine, if you are there. If you guys are not there, I can call any other person at this moment. But I hope you guys can send me your request. Send me your request, please. You know, I'm still waiting for you guys to send in requests so I can bring you on. You know. So I'm just looking here on the list and see who sent in a request from yesterday. Dr. Ater, I don't see you there. Abdalla Garang, if you are ready, Mr. Abdalla Garang, you can send in a request as well because you're part of the list discussion tonight. Go ahead and do that so we can move on. So just go ahead and do that. We are ready to do this. So okay, Tongyang, you can send a request as well because if my guests are not ready, why not? I can bring you in. Tongyang, you can send a request as well. It looked like something wrong, you know, because I am not receiving any, you know. I will call you now, Tongyang. Go ahead, it's adding. Until those brothers have to show up. Tongyang, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. You dress in red today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, you read the topic, right? But I can, if you want me to read it for you, I can do that again. We have more to talk about. Yesterday, you missed out. I didn't see you. I was interested.
I was at work. They called me in work. I worked 16 hours. Yes.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's good.
Do you want me to read this topic or you are aware of it today?
It's about SPLA government lash out.
Yes, the Makuei Lueth, the angrily lashing out, you know, to international community and European Union this week, particularly TROIKA, and about the ARCSS. Is Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace agreement in South Sudan? Did it sound alarm? That's the first question. The second question, Minister Makuei Lueth, you know, further alleged that the U.S. is sponsoring and harboring National Salvation Front leader Thomas Cirillo in attempt to meddle and drill peace implementation in South Sudan. Are these allegations true, Tongyang? And also, I want you to comment why sons and daughters of Madingaul are targeted. What is the correlation between the SSUF and the community, right? And why are they recruiting young Twitch Mayadi people? These are questions that I want you to answer. Just go ahead and be brief, and I know you will. Go ahead.
Yeah, without, thank you bringing out this one.
Yes.
Without a doubt, you remember in very beginning, I was attacked by everybody, by the government supporter and IO, they attacked me when I said there was no peace. And I told them clearly now, and you see the reason that they rejected peace from Kenya to Addis Ababa to Khartoum is Bashir won oil and they have oil and to sign anything. So when it violated, nobody against it. And Bashir told them, I know how to deal with Riek Machar like I signed in 1997 and you violated. So it was done, no doubt. And this is a good thing. Thank God. I hope this peace dead. And then people will, next time, will take me serious. I told a long time ago there was no peace. And now he's dying. What they were trying to trap them in. This peace is a two scenario. I say one time that is an agreement between Nuer and Denga and Equatorial, they're going to be killed. This is what they're accusing US. Now, CDR, Kong Choranle, and Jongriab now, you see they're touring everywhere. You're going to see what's going to happen. That's why they accuse US to stay away from it. The peace is dead. The new Bashir is already in problem, so they will do whatever. This peace is a Denka and Nuer, they team up. For Madinga Awul, you can see it's not a coincidence targeting Madinga Awul. You remember last time they fight Carbino, they're targeting Tweet. And this is why now they're targeting Madinga Awul. Since Malong was arrested, when Malong was Army Chief of Staff, no single from Awul was targeting. And when Malong was dismissed and put in a house arrest, now 60 people are killed.
64.
Yeah. And when Malong is no longer have to do with the government. So it's the same what they done to Carbino at that time. And now they're going to Twitch area, recruiting people, torturing people, and the Sultan was tortured and died with a heart attack. Is a brother-in-law of late Martin Manyela Yuel from Twitch.
So they tortured the chief because chief is not cooperating.
Yeah, chief refused it. Chief asked fundamental question. Why 12,000 are demand here? And why is not demand in a 32 state, including Gorial, where it come from? And what they're doing is a conspiracy. And thank God you asked me this to talk about recruitment in Twitch area.
Yes.
Twitch area, you should not make a mistake to be recruited. If you recruit in Twitch area, if the only Twitch to be punished to recruit soldiers, they should be recruited and then Powing or Panaru, they should be first and Ngongwaliak, because when is killing women or rape women and genocide take place. In Upper Down, recruit should be done compulsory by force, because that area, Twitch, nobody occupied Twitch area. If you doing this one, recruitment in Twitch area is danger. It's great danger. I want people from Twitch area to understand this. And people of Madinga will to understand this. Mitong call me any name you want, and I know group, I don't care, they're going to be latched up at me. There is a policy during the Carbino War. People said Deng Wall and Malongawan, they were the one killed Arwe people. Now Bona Malwal with the Kir are recruiting Twitch to go and kill people there. I'm sorry that Francis was shy to explain it. That is Uncle Bona Malwal recruiting this. And I do not want this to happen. Children of Twitch, if the people are a coward, rest of Denka, they don't want to go to stop Wulweng in a genocide in Poweng, son of Twitch, I will authorize and I will support, let them go to fight with Wulweng. No question, I'm not declaring war between Chiluk and Denka, but Wulweng have to be targeting. If that's the recruitment, exactly. But this is a recruitment, so people of Awul would draw over the Division 3 Twitch to be used as a launching pad like Afghanistan when terrorists and Al-Qaeda and Taliban use it. And this is what's coming. This is the fact, I'm saying in it. Son of Twitch should not go and will not allow it. get trained and keep your gun and deserted army. Because Arab will come from RBI, Arab come from Ijlik, and the tweet what's going to happen here? And also we have some IO, they go like the killing of the wounded Maduri, Sultan Farman, he was killed. IO, they go to take tweet cow and tweet area. This recruitment, if you want to afford people of Madinga will, a one Chanyal, a one Mo, a Guak, and a Thuc, they should be Gogrial, the entire Gogrial, who are control the government of Kir, should go to Medan and take attack to Madinga will. You don't use tweet, and this is tweet, need to understand it. And tweet people, when you talk about things, you will be targeting, and that's what happened to a Wood, to Apuk, Jiel Maror, were targeting by the mafia of Kir, group of Kir. Tweet is not my new darga fi darat betom. Uman my Israelis to go everywhere. Tweet are not the peacekeepers. Recruit a 1, 2, a 1, Apuk and Gogrial, Gorgoru Sili, Salpa Matok, need recruit their people and go to attack Madinga will, not Tweet area. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to talk about this, and this is not totally unacceptable. The peace, there was no peace in the first place, and this is what's going on in Tweet area. Why is not done in a 32 state? Why is not done in a desperate, where they need desperate compulsory soldiers to rescue women in Powing? Panru should be done by force to take it and take them to go and rescue their people in Powing.
No one should be forced to go to, to army, even, Tongjang. No one should be forced to go to army.
Yeah, but here, there's a national army for the government. No one should be forced.
Yes.
But a tribal militia army, like right now, is forcing Chuluk into militia. If unity of Denka, I'm not talking about Jiel, I'm not talking about Monjang, I'm not talking about Padang, I'm talking about Denka. Ulweng will not be allowed, and government of Kir is not interested in that. Denka themselves, they should get up their army targeting Ulweng, not Chuluk civilian, not women and children, and they should targeting Ulweng in Powing, because Ulweng is raping women in Powing. Since 2013 until today, 6 years, Kir never saw reinforcement. There's no government troop went to Powing. What Ulweng doing an Atar in 6 years? And I support that one. So if you have any other question, ask me. If there is no another question, look in the list and see your guests. And you should ask them this question. People don't need to be polite here. Recruiting Division 3, taking from Madinga withdraw into the Sultan. The Sultan died with a heart attack. That's where Division 3 moved in his area. And that Sultan refused. And that's why he got tortured. He died with a heart attack. Division 3 moved to that Sultan, and now 12,000 are recruited to Nigeria to go and fight Madinga. Let me be honest here.
Right. Tongjang, I really appreciate you for coming on and adding your perspective. Now, I'm still with Makuei Lueth here. I want to ask you, what transpired? Why all these angry statements are coming out all of a sudden? And they were saying that they are capable, they have money, they will do what it takes. When we were complaining about the peace process in Khartoum, they said, no, we will do it. So what is this all of a sudden? What happening?
Yeah, what happened here, this is the reason Makuei Lueth is a spokesman. And they knew him, Makuei Lueth head is a tribal minded. So people like Salva Kiir push him to say what Kiir don't want to say. And this is to threaten America. But it's a war between Ayo, Nuer, and Denka are gang up, and they share power and share oil together. And very soon they're going to be killing people in Equatoria, in the free tech that Thomas Cirillo threatening people. If Thomas Cirillo is hearing this, he needs to be really, really very careful. I will not be surprised seeing people cut his neck off and take his head in Juba. This is a serious, even now, there's a lot of women and here, and some propagandists, Thomas Cirillo, Secretary General in the United States, I'm not going to mention that. She's been making a lot of propaganda. You talk about war all the time, beating drum of war, get ready now. Because Makuei Lueth is a guy, Makuei Lueth is honest. His hatred, he talk about it openly. And this is going to happen. Makuei Lueth is not, take him serious. You don't joke with that guy.
Tongjang, I really, really appreciate you. If you want to add any other point, any advice, before I let you go, you are welcome to do that because I have long list of my guests. But go ahead and add whatever you wanted to add. If you don't,
here this is what I want. Yeah, here this is my last word I want to tell people.
Okay.
People in the great region of Equatoria are South Sudanese, and we will not authorize this targeting dictatorship. In Equatoria, even propaganda here in the media, we people of Equatoria, people like Kurkuju, people like Secretary General of National Salvation here are making propaganda, threatening people. You're not going to match threat of Makuei Lueth. There will be, war is coming into Equatoria. Riek Machar and Kir Denka Nuer, if it's not violated, that's a Denka Nuer, and you can see the language by threatening USA, linking USA for backing Thomas Cirillo, which is not exist. Thomas Cirillo will never get no support from nowhere. They're going to be targeting. Morley, they're going to be targeting. Denka and Nuer, they will all up. They're going to share the power, share the oil, will be no war. But this Equatoria and Morley, they're going to be victim very quick. White Army and Matianganyor might be going in a war, and White Army come from Akoba and they go to Bibor, putting Bibor under sea and confiscate every cow. And if people talk, I will not be surprised killing people too. Men, not women.
Thank you.
I can think. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my last word.
I really, really appreciate you, Tongjang, for coming on and adding your perspective today. It was good and honor. Please stick around. We may bring you back if necessarily. Thank you so much. You do a good brain, so you're dead. Now, yes, Natalie, actually, if she's sending a request, I'm more than welcome to bring her, because you know that this forum for all South Sudanese from all different walks of life, from all different political affiliation, we don't have any side in with the concerned citizen of South Sudan. Anyone that's sending a request, they are highly welcome, you know, to weigh in, to hear their perspective as well. Atileo Abu Yasmine, I saw you are here. I'm going to try my best to bring you in. Please, if you have your headphone, it would be really, really appreciated. Let me go ahead and try to bring you in, Atileo. Oh, the camera is off, which is unfortunate. Atileo, please turn on your camera. Let me try this one more time. Hopefully your camera will work and we can proceed, because we have more to talk about today. Atileo Abu Yasmine, camera is off, please refresh it. I hope you will refresh it, Atileo Abu Yasmine. All right. Adeng Malok, if you wanted to send a request, you are highly welcome also. We still have time. Whoever want to send a request, you will be here. Let me go ahead and try Dr. Sandy Dijon, if that can work for him. Atileo Abu Yasmine, it looked like you refresh. Let me try you. And then I will try Dr. Sandy Dijon as well. Atileo, I'm calling you. Did you have it?
Hello.
Did you have your headphone today?
No, actually, I forgot it. I left it at work.
Okay.
So I hope the echo is not going to interrupt the show again. There's no echo as
when I speak, there's an echo. But you can go ahead. And I will bring mine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Good. Thank you. So yeah, you want to read out the topic first, please, Mr. Jongkor?
Yes. Give me one.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Francis. How are you doing? And all the guys there, you know. Good to see you guys. Sister Mayol.
I hope it's much better now.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
I apologize to our viewers for inconvenience. It looked like we have some echo today. So, Malish. I'm going to go ahead and read the topic for you. So, the topic of today said, after angrily lashing out the international community this week, particularly TROIKA and European Union, for being against peace, ARCSS, is Minister Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace in South Sudan? That's the first question. The second question is Makuei Lueth further, alleged that U.S. is sponsoring and harboring National Salvation Front leader Thomas Cirillo is an attempt to meddle and derail peace implementation in South Sudan. Are all these allegations true?
Wow. That's another one. Minister Makuei Lueth, the spokesperson for the government of South Sudan. This is not the first time for Makuei to come up in that fashion. Makuei Lueth, in fact, reflect what kind of the government you represent. Because if you have an organization, you have to pick the best to represent you. So Makuei Lueth so far is one of the best ministers in the government of South Sudan to represent them. And I'm not surprised hearing this statement from Makuei Lueth. He engaged in the past in the same inconsistent and contradiction. Makuei Lueth, in fact, is the one who actually came up a few months ago that United States money or donation is not being used to run the government. And yet is coming out to ask the TROIKA in the United States to help, otherwise the peace may collapse. From that perspective, you will know, and it's actually true, the sounding alarm of another collapsing is possible because the technical support to implement the peace agreement are not there. You need lazim تتوفر السيولة. You need money to implement peace. And this is another contradiction too. Because what is the difference between implementing the peace and running the government? You need the money to put the government of national unity in order to implement peace. That means whatever you will get from United States or TROIKA, you need them to run the government, to implement the peace. شايف كيف؟ it is inconsistent, and I'm not surprised by this rhetoric of Makuei Lueth. Is one of the best folks for President Salva Kiir. That's why he was around for quite some time, and is someone who is a graduate of law school, and is a lawyer, is a judge, and this is how he speaks, and this is the government he represents. So there is a lot of inconsistent, tanaqud, and contradictory in all his statements. الشيء الثاني برضو حتى بتاع انه الامريكا United States is supporting Thomas Cirillo, so they can I don't get it, because so far yes, Thomas Cirillo came to United States, and I don't suspect that the United States is giving it. Oh. Okay. Let me try to get the headphone. I'll get back. Let me try to get another one here. I'll borrow one and then I'll get back. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'll be back. Okay. Just call.
Yeah, I will. Let me go ahead and call somebody. Ajama, I'm sorry. Sometimes there is something called quote on the phone. So if it turn out you to have the same code that other person that has, that will cause the echo. And actually, that's the case with Atileo. Maybe we have the same quote on the cell phone, serial number or something like that. Very similar, something similar. And it's likely to cause that, an echo. That's why you guys were not hearing him very well. But overall, let me go ahead and call Sandy Dion, and we're going to wait for Atileo, to come back, and then to add his perspective also later. So, Dr. Sandy Dion, I'm calling you right now. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, we echo also.
Do I have echo as well?
I don't know. Do you have any other device on?
Yes, yes. I have another device.
Can you turn
that on? Okay, let me use the other device.
I apologize, Jamal. Because we usually don't have this problem with Dr. Sandy Dijon. So when there is more devices are on, it will cause that echo as well. Bluetooth, anything. Hello? Let me try to do this again. Hello, Dr. Sandy Dijon?
Yes, yes.
Now it's much better. We don't have any problem now. I apologize one more time to our viewers for inconvenience. I know the technology sometimes it can have their tricky way.
Sure.
So,
yes.
You are aware of our topic today, Dr. Sandy Dijon, and you are one of the people that, gets the speakers. And if you want me to read it out, I can do that. But if you are aware, you are welcome to go ahead. I can yield the floor into you.
You can be able to read it out for refreshment, but I know the topic.
Yeah, of course. Of course, our discussion today is going to focus, on the statements by the spokesperson of the government, Makuei Lueth, after angrily lashing out the international community this week, particularly TROIKA and the European Union, for being against peace ARCSS. Is Minister Makuei Lueth sounding alarm for yet another possibility of collapsing peace agreement in South Sudan? That's the first question. The second question, also Minister Makuei Lueth further alleged that the U.S. is sponsoring and harboring National Salvation Front, Thomas Rila leader, in an attempt to meddle and derail peace implementation in South Sudan. Are these allegations true, Dr. Sandy Dijon?
Generally speaking, let me begin like this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our viewers, wherever they are. The questions that have been raised are of significance because they are meant to extract the truth about the events or whatever that is happening in the country. We know from the outset that there was nothing like peace signed. Because the documents that were signed they were under coercion from the Khartoum regime. And if Makuei is trying to say it is lack of dollars or whatever from Americans that has made it to collapse, then he is not honorable enough. The truth is this one. The peace that was signed was in real sense a stillbirth. Those babies that are born dead, they have not come out alive, then die out. They die actually in the birth canal or inside their mothers. And then they come out eventually when they can no longer breathe or show any sign of life. That is exactly all about the peace agreement that was signed in Khartoum. And if it was to be a peace agreement, it does not belong to America. It belongs to South Sudanese. And therefore, America does not shoulder any blame for lack of its implementation. Americans are not the main stakeholders. They are well-wishers. And you don't have a right to fight a well-wisher when you truly have to put your house in order. Is Makuei telling us that South Sudan has become poor? No, South Sudan has not become poor. It is the South Sudanese that are poor, because a few of them have opted to take everything for themselves, forgetting the rest of the nationals. The money that they have in their accounts, particularly the elites, if one of them was interested in helping South Sudan to proceed, and it was just lack of $100 million, one of them can remove from his own pocket. But why are they not removing it? It is simply because they love war. When people are fighting, there is no accountability. When people are fighting, there is no development. And they will make the excuse that war has depleted the accounts of the government, and so we cannot construct roads, yet they are the beneficiaries of all the resources as it goes into their pockets. If money was channeled for war, why are soldiers that are fighting not getting it? What is it that war warrants? It requires a manpower. It is not only equipment. If you get equipment and you don't feed the man that will utilize the equipment, you are likely going to lag behind, because there will be no man energetic enough to cause the destruction that you want to achieve using the guns. These expressions are meant to direct us to a focus that there is no lack of money in the country. The money has gone with elites. And they opted to back here and there in the blame of international community. South Sudan is a member of the international community. It does not belong to international community. The blame game that they are shifting to Americans or whoever they want to blame is falsehood, and it is a desire to derail what they have signed prematurely when they have not exhausted the root causes of the conflict. Look at it like this: there is no peace. That is why Makuei is talking like that. Lack of peace has many symptoms. Lack of peace in South Sudan has many symptoms. One of the symptoms is going to the media and batching at the international community when they are not supposed to be the implementers in the first place. They are observers in the real sense. How do you be an observer when you are the implementer and you're not doing a thing or two? That is a factor that needs. Another symptom that there is no peace is that the peace they have signed does not give South Sudanese people what they deserved. It is our neighbors that are the prime beneficiaries of the peace sign. The peace has given away our territories. The peace has given away our oil money and itself, either to Khartoum or to Chinese. The peace has given away our rich forest. As you see, the popular forces of Uganda or People's Defense Forces of Uganda are roaming in our forest. What do they want there? They want our precious metals such as gold and other ones, plus of course the trees. They cut our teeth and bring it for their business wherever they are. This peace has also given away our vital sisters and mothers, as they are being molested by the observers around. This peace has given away many things. And the cardinal symptoms are as well the reason recruitment, the reason forceful recruitment. All these put together are equal to lack of peace. Makuei should stop insulting Americans because the implementation of the peace process should start in Juba by the government in Juba. We have enough oil money. Over 100 million comes monthly. And where does it go? Why can't they earmark 1 month for the implementation of that peace agreement? The money
Correct.
for 1 month. This is called hypocrisy. You do something and you say something else in betrayal of your people. These people should not blame Americans. They should not be blaming any international community, including the region, because we have enough to kickstart on our matters. But because the government is not interested in peace, it is their opportunity to loot the country adequately for their own enrichment. That said, international community has a will to help South Sudanese. And America has done this time and again. From 1940s to the recent liberation struggle of 1982 until the Independence Day, and on until the time when Kir opted to lie to the American people and the international community about the crisis in Idlib. That was the beginning of our crisis. And the ego of the SPLM cadres that resulted to the shutdown of oil wells, which subsequently became a reason for austerity measures. And eventually the elites quarreled and fought just because of power, ego, and resources. And the country degenerated to the stage it is in now. What benefit has America gained by standing by South Sudanese people from the day one? If you look at it, all the oil contracts and all the other necessary undertakings have been given to people who do not contribute anything to the good of South Sudanese people. What is it that China will do to South Sudanese people that they have occupied all the terrain of South Sudan that produced oil? Nothing at all. And we are adamantly accepting Chinese to the level of giving them our crude oil on things that are not realistic. Where is America? Did we sit down and question America that where is your interest in South Sudan? No. Of course, America has worked hard to let us achieve the country. And the country as small as South Sudan, in terms of population, would have also been giving itself a chance to allow the international community at least to show them the guidelines for success. Unless our arrogance is removed, that is manifested in Makuei Lueth all the times, we are not going to move an inch. I will not be answering more on that. I have just made elaboration, but the answer is no. What Makuei is saying is contrary to the truth. He is putting blame on somebody who has not done anything wrong. If there is something done wrong, it is done by Juba. If we were to blame anybody, we have to blame Makuei. Just before that peace agreement was signed, what was Makuei saying? He was saying that Riek Machar and Kir will never work together. They have to bear the relations that they have, and they will never work together. Few days later, they will work together, simply because there is a loophole created. Khartoum has opted to guarantee that Kir will remain in power as long as they exist, and then Kir has to give them whatever they want in return, which has materialized adequately. The beneficiaries of our oil are the Khartoum people. And that was the reason why they caused the conflict. Imagine, as I stated yesterday, when the conflict erupted in 2013 in Juba, the first batch of arms used by Juba government came from Khartoum. And the ammunition used by White Army came from Khartoum. What did Khartoum want to achieve? Of course, it is the recent agreement. Force the two to sit together and stay as enemies that are bitter towards one another and that can never be united in principle to defend their territory and then encroach on our land and take our oil and all the other resources thereafter. This is the big picture that Kir is not seeing. This is the big picture that the elites around him are not seeing. Even if they enrich themselves until they become multi-billionaires in the world and they don't have a home, that money would be useless. There is nothing as good as home. All those other ones that are trying to defend this rotten government should understand. From the time I'm speaking, I believe more than 80% of the urban South Sudanese have gone to bed with empty stomach. They have gone to bed with empty stomachs. But that is not the case with Kir and elites. That is it. On the accusation that Thomas Cirillo is being supported by the American people, I don't believe in that one. And I would wish if America is listening, they should support Thomas. Because Thomas Cirillo is fighting a justified war. It is a war that would bring everlasting change. Why would South Sudanese be affected by poverty and dying from curable elements and also suffering from other things, including lack of homes, just because their government is not interested in providing what they need? Why would Thomas shoulder blame for crime that he has not committed? He is only responding for the good of his people. This is a fact. There are no signs that America has supported Thomas. If America was to support Thomas, it would overrun Juba. Simply because Americans are strong. They have been able to overturn governments, not the weak one and rotten like the one in Juba. Stronger one, for the good of those societies. This one is a misplaced statement. And I would want to caution South Sudanese, and particularly the ones in the leadership, that they must not turn their backs 100% to America. That has worked enough to ensure that South Sudan is an entity of itself. They have helped us. Even if we are messing up, it will not go away in the history books that America has spent its money on us. America has given us the right guidance. America has done and done and done and done. And they should not be blamed for nothing. Thomas Cirillo has any support from Americans. It is the angry South Sudanese that are questioning the government that has made their lives quite miserable. What is it? Let them substantiate. What did America do? Have they caught some Americans alongside forces of Thomas Cirillo in the battlefields? Of course it is no. Then what is that support? Can Americans fail to bring tanks? They have tanks of different varieties. If they were to support Cirillo, Cirillo will be seen in the territories of South Sudan with huge tanks, with a force significant enough to overrun this town and that town. Just the way SPLA was revenues those days would have been the way Thomas become revenues, because we were doing that because America was standing by us. That is a misplaced blame meant only to underscore some other things, but the truth remains, Thomas Cirillo is fighting a just war, and South Sudanese should support him in that cause. It is not only Thomas that will fight. Even they will fight among themselves, the peace signatories. There is nothing good between Riek and Kir, and both of them are arming themselves one again to do what with the arms? To do what with the men they are recruiting? Keep them in their houses? No, it is to fight another new war. Finally, these unnecessary blames should be shifted elsewhere, because they do not meet the threshold for what we can justify as truth. And I am always respecting Honorable Michael Makuei Lueth for being honest. There are situations where Michael Makuei Lueth has manifested the inner aspect of the government and the brutality it has harbored and hidden enough for the destruction of South Sudanese. The peace agreement is not kicking off. It is those who have missed South Sudan that have only flown themselves there, but they are likely going to come back because the home is not habitable. Have unknown gunmen ceased killing people? Is that finished? Are hostilities not existing? Is Kir not blaming army generals for no reason? How will he respect those who come as a result of peace? There is no genuine reason that justifies the existence of peace besides what we see as visits to Juba. Just tell me, the reunification of the SPLM, reunify to do what? Reunify to destroy country as one entity? No. It is not going to help anything in the country. Look at the words of Kir Mayar those days. He told the audience that Lol, Ezekiel Lol, and Tabandenga have not done their homework after having seen they have dissolved their IO. And G10 are not so stupid that they dissolve their G10 entity with hopes that they will join the upper echelon of the SPLM. During the SPLA intactness, among G10, there are people who were not among the political Veru, including Majanga God. And therefore, they will not destroy their political cocoon just because they want to go on the streets. Nevertheless, if they have accepted to rejoin, remember, G10 was not also one pact the other time. As Dengalor was moving his own direction, and of course Pagana Mom in his own direction, all in the interest of seeing that South Sudan is becoming a good place. So I do not see reunification of the SPLM as a matter of success in terms of the peace agreement, if at all the root causes to the conflict have not been addressed. From the press releases that all these parties have made after the signing in Khartoum, there were come and a lot of doubts generated. What is it that has been addressed of reason that they become united? Have they stopped the conflict by nipping at the bud all the root causes that eventually sprouted to the current conflict? Not at all. So I have no much to say on this. Makuei Lueth is only cheating himself, but he is not cheating himself as an individual. He is speaking for the government, so it is the government of South Sudan that is cheating itself. They are in the world of destruction, and they have opted to sell the country for their survival and rule for the next 10 years, even if it means they will only be left with Juba alone. Have you seen our borders? Is anybody talking about it? No. If at all there was peace and there was patriotism, we could not just go back to the fields and recruit people forcefully from their homes when we have thousands of IO soldiers coming in, plenty of them from the SOA sections, and the main SPLA that is dying of hunger. They should have rejuvenated that force, and it would be enough to protect our territorial integrity. The forces they are recruiting have a different meaning, and the meaning is another war must be fought, perhaps the mother of all wars, and it is not good for South Sudanese. So Kir is somebody who does not feel a pain of losing the loved ones. He has lost very close relatives during the J1 incident, but he is unremorseful. He has a belief that he is the only man created for South Sudan. And if he is still alive, the rest should die, and he does not have a problem with that. That is the Kir we know. That is the Kir we know. He called himself the best liberator. Of course, he has significantly contributed, but he was not alone. Even if Juan Garang was alive, the one who generated everything, including his request to international community and friends to get ammunitions and whatever we have used to acquire our country, he would not be treating people this way. Now he gets guns because he has sold land, and Garang was getting guns because he has wisdom that he used to ask the people that I have a case and argue it rightly. If we are telling South Sudan to remain in power, going by the words of Pancholdeng Ajang, we have not demarcated our pieces of land so that one can sell his independent of the rest. We shall work hard again. We shall work hard again to regain our country. And the hardest work required is to remove Kir. Removing Kir from power, I don't want him dead. He's a human being. And we want him to be alive like the rest, because we are not the one who created him.
Yes.
But he should quit power, either by resignation or by force. I would urge Thomas, despite accusation, to exert his pressure. To exert his pressure. Kir believes in muscles of arms. And there is nothing like Equatorians fighting independently. They are South Sudanese. We need to join them. We need to support them. The oppositions are the best alternative now. Those other neutralized oppositions, the ones that are in Juba, the likes of Ilya Lumoro, have known that they have opportunity to extract money for themselves. What is it that they would do so that South Sudan
Dr. Sandy
can rise again? Yes.
I might disrupt you and ask you a question here. This is
Yes.
for very first time I hear this statement from the spokesperson of SSUF that we must support Thomas Shirello.
Yes.
Does that mean there's a deal between NAS and SSUF? Because it seems like you are moving toward that direction. Is there a collaboration here?
No, no, we do not have any collaboration. There is no collaboration between us. But the truth is this: they are not our enemies. They are not our enemies. And they have objectives that they are fulfilling. And their objectives are not very far from ours. They need transformation in the country. We also need transformation in the country. We are a capable force, and they are a capable force. If we begin to hit the other oppositions, we will not reach our target. All their focus is on Kir, and our focus is on Kir. Regardless of whether we are together or not, the objective remains: we need Kir out of power. So we don't have any deal, we don't have any link, we don't even know where they are. I see their supporters online, just the way you see most of the supporters of the government online. So that question is responded to adequately. And of course, if God allows that we become united even with the devil against Kir, is not a problem.
All right. Dr. Sandy John, thank you so much for coming on with articulate point. It was good always to have you on the show. Well said. Thank you, and try to have a good night sleep there. Thank you.
I've waited long enough. Tell our audience that South Sudan belongs to all of us. Whether you are with the government, whether you are with South Sudan United Front, whether you are with NAS, whether you are with IO, South Sudan's belong to us. We don't need to lose it. And that is why we must team up and unite against the man that is giving it away to our enemies. Peace that is given to us by Khartoum is not so good. It is like giving us a snake, because Khartoum is not our father enough. And I believe they will never do anything good for our good. Thank you very much, and I salute all our audience. We meet again when God bring us together.
Thank you, and have a lovely night there. Thank you.
Shukran.
Okay, let me go. That was Dr. Sandy Dijon, very articulate in his point there. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this. We continue here now. I still have 3 guesses, but meanwhile, you can go ahead and send in your requests as well while I'm trying to get them here so we can hear their perspective. Dr. Daniel, I know it's already now 9 a.m., I believe so, in Australia, or 8 a.m. I should say. So if you are awake, you can go ahead and send in your request. It's the same thing to Apuk, Jiel, Maror. If you are all ready, you can send in a request. But let me go ahead and see if Abu Yasmine is available so I can bring him back, because a little bit ago we have an issue of echoing, with the phone. But right now it seems like Atileo Abu Yasmine is here, but his camera is not on. I asked you, Atileo, to turn on the camera so I can call you to go ahead and finish your thought, So Atileo, you are here. Please go ahead and turn on the camera so we can continue the conversation. So thank you so much, Dr. Sandy Dijon. Abu Yasmine, please. And Abdalla Garang, if you are there also, I can go ahead and call you in. Just you may send me a request, and then we can move forward here, Atileo, you can log off and log back in again if you are having some difficulties. And I hope so you got the headphone with you. So when I call you, we are not going to have any issue of the echoing here. All right? So it seems like you are not there, but I will continue to look for you here and the others. Yeah, Jamal, go ahead and send in your request. I'll bring you in, or you can write, call me, whatever you prefer, because it seems like people are sending in the request today, but it's not coming through, unfortunately, for some reason. It happens sometimes. So go ahead and send in your request, and then I'll bring you. No need to worry about. Everyone is welcome. All right. Of course, a call I can call you. Abu Yasmine, you are not there. I don't see. Yeah, your camera is not on until now. Try to turn on your camera or exit and come back. And that's going to help, actually. So, can you go ahead and play a little bit of music here? Abu Yasmine, I'm calling you. Hopefully you put on your headphone. So I'm calling you right now. Oh, look like, I don't know, is it camera is not on? What happened? Because it declined. So you can bring him to the camera. Abu Yasmine, go ahead and answer. But in this one, I don't know. Is politics only for men? The politics is not only for men. The issue of the country is not only for men. The women actually are the majority in the country. In case of South Sudan, women are 54% of the population. But unfortunately, they don't request. They don't want to participate. I don't understand what's the problem. he should be participating in big number actually. Women matter. Women are matters. Okay, Abu Yasmine, you look like you have issue. You are not responding. I keep calling you, but you are not responding. Let me go ahead and bring this guy, you know, the government supporter. Call Chitij. I'm calling you. Get ready. So I can read the topic for you one more time, if you are not aware of the topic. Call Chitij.
Hello, Jongkor.
Assalamu alaikum, Akol.
عليكم السلام شلا كويس
الحمد لله كيف اخبارك؟
والله الحمد لله تمام.
ايوه انت قريت التوبيك ولا انت عايزين نقراه ثاني؟
انا قريته
اوكي انت لو قريت التوبيك we need to get your perspective. عايزين نسمع انسايد بتاعك، الراي بتاعك شنو في الموضوع اللي طرحناه اليوم ده، وليه؟ ليه ما كله بيصرح كده؟ الاسباب بتاع التصريح كده ليه؟ وده يعني انه السلام خلاص يعني سقط ولا what is the deal؟ تفضل يا برادر كول.
شكرا جونكور ببرنامج متواصل، وشكرا للفيورز. طبعا كلام تاع ماكوي لويث يعني
انا على فكره انا بيعتذر لانه مرات انت بتعمل ريكوست ولما نجي نرجع نلقاك انت مشيت.
لا ما في مشكله. اوكي. طبعا كلام بتاع ماكوي لويث فيه ديسابوينتد في الجانب بتاع المعارضه، لانه شفنا حكومه مضى سلام سلام بتاع الخرطوم الاخير. اكشولي ده سلام بتاع ايجاد، لكن الرعايه بتاع الخرطوم شنو الفرقاء الجنوبيين كلهم يمضوا. وطبعا شفنا حركه اسبوع اللي فات في جوبا، من حركات اللي لسه فضل برا. عشان كده عنده disappointment بتاع التصريحات بتاعته، لكن دي تصريحات عادي. بالنسبه لتوماس، توماس طبعا في بدايات بدا
قصدك انت قلت تصريحات عادي، قصدك شنو يعني تصريحات عادي؟ لانه هو كان زعلان angrily you know lashing the international community وتريكا يا اخي نازل هم ضد سلام ونازل زاد ما جابوا قروش. هو اساسا الديبندنسي بتاع السلام، تنفيذ السلام بيتوقف على تريكا ولا بيتوقف على يوروبيان يونيون ولا السلام ده بتاعنا نحن؟
لا اكيد سلام ده حقنا، لكن جزء من disappointment قبل انا قلت الان في جزء من معارضه سبيشال ناس وجزء من معارضات لسه بيدفروا جهات بتاع ترويكا وجهات غربيه سبيشال امريكا على اساس انه يضغطوا على حكومه، على اساس انه بين اللي هنا دميت زي ما شفنا كلام بتاع متحدث بتاع ملون جبال ساند جون. فكلامات ده طبعا بزعل واحد فعلا. في نفس الوقت الدوله ماشيه في اتجاه بتاع التنفيذ، يعني زي ما الحكومه طبعا يعني زي ما شفنا حركه اللي حصل الاسبوع اللي فات، انجلينا تين ونائب بتاع الدكتورياك واف بيز وسوا. دي خطوه المفروض ندعموها كجنوبيين على اساس انه نفوض فرصه بتاع انهيار بتاع الدوله، لانه شنو مهما كان المعارضه مسلح يعني جاء هسه المفروض يتعلم عبر. يعني ايو جرب في سنين الفات في ملكال ما قدر، عالمين الكبرى ما قدر، لكن الشفت الحرب في كاتوريا برضو ما قدر، لكن شنو حتى خطوات في النهايه مضوا على سلام. فعشان كده حكومه تصريحات ماكوي ده تصريحات حكوميه. اما على الكلام بانه
قبل ما تمشي موضوع قبل ما تمشي في الشق الثاني من التصريح بتاع ماكوي لويث، ترويكا، هل نحن صحيح فعلا نعمل بليم للترويكا؟ لان ترويكا اصلا قال اوكي نحن شايفين السلام ده ما انكلوسيف، ما فيه مالونج، ما فيه توماس شيريلو، ما فيه داريوس، ما فيه others you know political opposition. but نحن بنعمل سبورت لانه قالوا الكلام ده. لكن انتوا جيبوا $100 million كتبوا في بنك اكاونت ونحن نعمل سبورت. هل الترويكا هنا اخطات؟ لانه قال يا اخي انت السلام ده بتاعك if you own it and you said that this is a good piece for you، طيب ليه نحن بنعمل بليم؟ نحن زاد ما لقينا $100 مليون ما كتبنا في اكاونت ونعمل بليم للترويكا.
لا انا كلام ده ما صحيح، لانه شنو ترويكا بينه الجماعات المعارضه نوت انكلوسيف، كلام ده ما صحيح. الجماعات اخر مره رئيس الفكير صرح على اساس انه الباب مفتوح لكل من خلف في اتفاقيه بتاع الخرطوم. فهنا يعني باب لسه مفتوح لهم، لكن هنا شنو؟ في ناس بيشوف على اساس انه سبيشال ناس على اساس انه فرصه بتاع الضغط، يعني احتمال يوصل لمكاسب هناك. اما بالنسبه للترويكا، الترويكا طبعا ده جزء مهم من شركاء بتاع الايجاد، على اساس المفروض يعمل واجب بتاعته. وعلى فكره امريكا يعني ومع سلام الاسبوع اللي فات في جزء من شباب بتاع منظمات اللوس بوي يعني شغالين مع ديبارتمنت او مثلا جهات بتاع USAID، بدوا the launch the peace dialogue South Sudanese peace dialogue. يعني بدوا الاسبوع اللي فات في اريزونا، وهيمشي كل ولايات. يعني يبقى امريكا داير يجرب بواسطه هنا المجتمع المدني او مثلا civil society، يعني يبقى ده خطوه كويس. فبرضه هنا يعني من واجب بتاع الحكومه، واجب بتاع الحكومه برضه.
If that's the case, أنت قلت كلام كويس. If that's the case, أمريكا مع السلام بتدعم السلام. ليه مسؤول حكومي يتهم أمريكا بأنه قاعد يعمل سبورت للناس؟
مع امريكا حتى الان بدا سبورت بتاعته بواسطه مجتمعات مدنيه، يعني ما بواسطه حكومه امريكيه. اما كلام بتاع المالون قبل جاب بزعل بتاعته من ضغط المعارضه عملوا، وهم عاملين خطوات مهم جدا على اساس انه موزم معارضات الرئيسيه هم في جوبا في التنفيذ بتاع السلام. فدي انا بشوف دي كلام يعني كلام سياسه وكلام عابر، لكن في لب الموضوع يعني ما كل يدعوا حكومه جادين في التنفيذ بتاع السلام. وده فرصه لكل الجنوبيين من هنا على اساس انه الحرب ما بودينا لقدام، بانه شنو لازم نجرب فرصه بتاع السلام والمنافسه الشريف. يعني انت لو جيت في الجنوب ما ضروري تكون حزب كبير، ممكن تبدا كحزب صغير. احزاب بتاع هنا هند PPK الحاكم هسه كان فير ماينورتي جونكور، لكن بمرور زمن بمرور زمن بنى برنامج بتاعته برنامج قويه، وبقى هسه حزب الحاكم في هند. فعشان كده المعارضه الجنوبيه بتاعتنا خشوا جوا مارسوا عمليه انتخابيه، لانه في النهايه
مع اقل ممكن نحن نخش جوا، لكن اذا كان مثلا في ستيت اوف ايمرجنسي في الدوله، في حاله طوارئ في البلد، انت ما في تنقل من منطقه لمنطقه، ما في مجال على انك شنو يكون حريه بتاع اسمبل. انا امشي نعمل موبلايزيشن للناس، ده هو برنامج بتاعي الحزب كذا، نحن عايزين نعمل كذا وكذا وكذا، والا بيكون في اعتقالات من قبل لنادي عناصر بتاعت الامن العام ناشونال سكيورتي. طيب نادي يرجعوا كيف ما في ضمانات امنيه بالنسبه للناس المعارضين يا اخوان؟
ايوه انجلينا تي مشى جوبا كم مره هسه، مشى ثالث مره هسه مشى جوبا وقاعد يرجع.
نعم
ناس سوا مشوا مرتين وسوا مرتين ورجعوا.
انا ما بتكلم بس عن القياده في التوب، انا بتكلم انا لما نمشي ككادر في الشعب. الان انا بقدم برامج كونسيرن سيتيزن اوف ساوث السودان. انا لما امشي انا داير اوجه ناس، داير اعمل مام جاذرينج، I want to tell them what are the rights اللي يحصل شنو، وفي شنو، في حظر تجوال في بلد، في حاله طوارئ في بلد، ما بيسمح في قانون طوارئ في بلد، ما بيسمح على انه يكون في اسامبلينج. يعني الناس لو قاعدوا كده بيسالهم ناشونال سكيورتي بيعملوا ارست. يا اخي في ميتنج بتاعنا انا داول، انا مذكر قبل 3 اسبوع دايرين يعملوا في جوبا، ناشونال سكيورتي عشان ما في زول يعمل ميتنج. That's it. So in that environment, how are we going to go back home? Well, any other opposition, how are they going to go home and have that kind of assembling يقدر يكلم ناسهم يا جماعه برنامج بتاعنا كذا 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 كذا، نحن we are not for war، نحن we are for peace، لكن برنامج بتاعنا كذا، عايزين نعمل كذا، عايزين نعمل كذا، ما بدوك مجال عشان انك تتكلم. طيب الكلام ده يحصل كيف ماي براذر؟ اقول كلمني.
بيحصل شوي لما الناس يجوا ويشكلوا حكومه شهر 5. لو ناس هسه ضغطوا هنا يعني كلهم جو معارضين وكله جنوبين لحد شهر 5 او شهر 5 لما يشكلوا حكومه انتقاليه. الستيت امرجنسي ده بيشيلوا شويه، ما بيشيلوا خالص لكن بيشيلوا شويه. بعدين احنا برضه المفروض نكون مسؤولين لما نمشي. يعني هسه زي البرنامج بتاعك ده لو حاولتوا كرساله مثلا بتاع سلام، انا متاكد بغير روسيل بتاع ناس كتير. انا برضه لو مشيت يعني انا داير اذكر لك انا مشيت بين سنه.
اقول معلش انا ما
ممكن
نحول برنامج
نكمل لك ده بس.
وحاجه اللي عمل ده ما صحيح. لو حاجه انا شايفه ده ده حاجه صح وحاجه الحقيقه ده ما بيبين حتى ولو في الحقيقه ده بيبين everywhere. لو حاجه ده صح انا بحولها ما في مانع، لكن ما صح.
اوكي اوكي جونكور، اوكي ده اوريك مثل. انا مشيت رومبيك 2011
نعم
بعد اندبندنت. لما مشيت انا مركت من الحله داير امشي السوق لاول مره بعد ما انا مركت الثمانينات. لما مشيت في السوق في واحد قفل لنا شارع، يعني قاعد قدام وعمل لنا ترافيك لانه زمن خريف ناس بيمشوا جنب الحيطه. ففي واحد ساله قال له يا عم انت افتح طريق للناس او خلوهم يمشوا. فهو قام عين لنا كده، قام يا اخي انا مستغرب الناس دي جايين من وين؟ سمان كده زي بياكلوا كدروك. يعني هو قاصدني انا وفي اخوي كده جاي من خرطوم وزول ده فيترن. فناس الماشيين معي دايرين يهاجموا، انا قلت لهم لا. فانا قلت له يا عم سلام عليك. قام قال لي شنو ديتو جيتو؟ قلت له جينا من وين؟ قام قال يا اخي زمان جريتو.
شايف؟
ده كلام ده حاجه حقيقه جونكور. قال انتوا جريتوا زمان وهسه بلد طلعتوا خلاص دايرين تشيلوا بلد.
ده the
فانا قلت
mentality.
له يا عم
Go ahead.
الناس كله ما جيرو زمان، الناس كله جيرو اثيوبيا جيرو يوغندا، ولا انت قاعد زمان فضلتوا هنا في محل بيقولوا جاغانو. قال نو يا ولد اخوي. قال انا هو اس بي ال. قلت له لا، اس بي ال ما بيعمل ديسكريميشن للناس. فيبقى هو جا سلمني وعمل لي بوزاك في راسي. يعني شوف انا عملت سلام لنفسي. فاسلوب زي ده لاننا دايرين انت لما نمشي الجنوب يعني ما تمشي تتكلم كلامات قبل بتجيب لك مشكله. لازم تتكلم متعاين وشوف الاحوال كده.
هل كان انت بتضطر على انك مثلا تعمل كده، ولا ده عمل الدوله انك في قوانين في لوائح you have to treat the citizen this way whether انت SPLM ولا SPLM ولا زول ثاني you have to be treated equally. لان احنا حاربنا من اجل شنو؟ من انه يكون في justice, liberty, prosperity. Now you have to work your way out. لان انت you are open minded. ايش تاني في امريكا؟ لان if you were not acting that way ممكن كان يضربوك ويعمل لك مصيبه. انت شايف الكلام اللي احنا بنتكلم فيه كيف يا برادر؟
جونكور سلام ده انت بتجيب لنفسك. حتى في امريكا هنا انت لو مشيت في ساوث سايد بتاع اي مدينه يعني احتمال تتعرض للضرب، وبعد شويه البوليس ما بقدر بيهلك لك. رغم امريكا هنا
انا ساكن في ساوث سايد اوف سياتل، ما في مشكله. انا لو مشيت لو في
لا مع سياتل ده محل بتاع شغل، ده محل بتاع ناس بيزنس. لكن لو مشيت في اريزونا ساوث سايد، لوس انجلوس ساوث سايد، شيكاغو، انت بضربوك بنهار. فالمهم سلامه ده انت بتجيب. المهم نمشي لقدام. كلام بتاع ريكروتمنت بتاع وراب قبل متحدث الاخير ده ذكره. متحدث ذاك ما بيحب يذكر اسمه. ده كلام ده ريكروتمنت جونكور. ده ريكروتمنت ده عادي جدا في جنوب السودان. يعني لانه شنو الجيش زي مدرسه، الليله في سنه اولى في ثانيه وبتمشي ما بينتهي. لكن ريكروتمنت بقى شنو؟ يعني بقى حسب المدن. في مدن حسب ما بيحبوا ريكروتمنت لانه الجيش في امود. يعني بقى مواطن جنوبي ما بيحب المسؤوليه. فلو في ريكروتمنت في وراب يعني يبقى دي ريكروتمنت دي عادي جدا. يعني ما في على اساس انه ديل ماشيين يعملوا تارجتنج ابناء ويل وكده. ابناء ويل لسه موجودين
انت راجل
في حكومه.
انت راجل مثقف وانت عارف كويس. الجيش حتى كنا مع الشمال، الجيش ده اوكي في اعلان بيحصل في تلفزيون في وين في جرايد، في اعلان بيحصل ده ناشونال because it is national. ده sense of national. في اعلان بيحصل يكون على المتقدمين انه يقابل كده طول بتاعه كذا، حجم بتاعه كذا، ما عنده ضغط، ما عنده ازمه، ما عنده high blood pressure. This is what happened in national army. لكن انت لما تمشي تعمل ريكروت لناس مدينه وبكره تمشي تعمل ريكروتمنت لناس توني وبكره تمشي تعمل ريكروتمنت لناس اجار. What are you trying to accomplish here؟ ونحن عارفين what those people are trying to accomplish. انت عارف راجل مثقف يعني انت عارف كويس exactly الناس اللي هنا يعمل شنو. لانه مره بمشي حته الفلاني and use them. اوكي بعد شويه خلاص خرب وشه مع الناس الفلاني يمشوا للناس العلاني وهكذا. نحن ما عايزين كلام زي ده بلدنا. احنا بنحب بلدنا. عاوز تعمل ريكروتمنت اوكي announce it national television, announce it newspaper وخد requirement بتاع ريكروتمنت ده. ما necessarily لو مدينه ده ما داير ناس فينا ما دايرين جيش تبي تجبرهم. لا طبعا. لان الخدمه الوطنيه ده خدمه للوطن يكون base you know and merit. انت you have to accept it انه انا ماشي اموت من اجل بلدي، انا داير اخدم البلد ده فخر ذات pride بتاع الدوله. لكن انت when you are forcing people because you have hating agenda it doesn't work that way. أكون anyway انا بديك the last chance عشان we need to move on you know.
اوكي طبعا السلم طبعا مهم جدا يجيب اي حاجه مثلا، لكن انا في النهايه انا برسل رساله
نعم
للناس اللي بيقولوا بانه الناس كاتوري عاملين تارجت. لا، ده كلام ده غير صحيح. توماس شيريلو باب مفتوح لهم على اساس انه
ونادول ما عاملين لهم تارجت كمان. الليست اللي انا قريته
لا اول ناس ما في تارجت للناس اللي ابناء الناس اللي
عندي 22 و64 تم قتلهم بدم بارد يا كون. الحقيقه لازم نقولوا ماي براذر.
ما خلاص يبقى جماعه ده انا ما عندي معلومات، لكن اي زول اتورط مع جنرال بول مالونج فتره ده يعني طبعا دي حاجه انت ارتكبتها مشكله. زي ما ساند جبال قال بطريقه مباشر على اساس انه الحكومه دي عم نشيله برا ونعيد توماس شيريلو. يعني يبقى ده كلام خطير جدا. والناس اللي بيدفعوا الثمن ده ناس كاتوريا، فناس كاتوريا المفروض يفتحوا عيونهم على اساس انه السلام مهم جدا، على اساس انه ونحن كلنا جنوبين، على اساس انه السلام ده بيجيبنا قدام، بيجيب يزول. مالونج رئيس قاعد معه كثير في نيروبي، يعني دي الناس عندهم نظام خاصه على اساس انه يوم من الايام بيرجع. حتى قبل فتره سمعنا على اساس انه بين مالونج هيرجع وهيكون واحد من نواب بتاع الجمهوريه. فاينوي يعني شكرا لك جونكور. في النهايه برضه انا ما بجبرك لسلام، لكن انا شنو تفرق تصد ما كويس. يعني لازم يكون برنامج جبل
ده الحاصل تفرق تصد، لان ده السياسه الكير ميار متبعه يفرق يسود المهم اختلاف راي لا
ميار على السلام
اوف كورس.
كير ميار على السلام وجابوا هنا بمراحل كثير. شكرا لك.
شكرا، انا اشكرك على المداخله. شكرا. Akolchitiech from Arizona. The one, of course, is a government supporter. He has to stand by the government. So let me go ahead here and see. Give Atileo Abu Yasmine. Atileo, try to make this thing so I can bring you. Nana dera jibak. Can you exit just and come back? Okay, let me check it here. Camera is not on. Atileo, camera is not on. Just exit and come back. No answer from the live video request. Atileo Abu Yasmine, I don't know what happened, my dear brother. Try your best. Abu Yasmine, good to see you and welcome to the South Sudan.
Hey. Good to see you, brother. Thank you. Finally, yes. I borrowed some headphones here. It's good. I would like to apologize first to you and your viewer, for echo that caused by my device, and I'm very, very sorry for that.
Yeah.
The show is beautiful, man. So you're doing a good job, man. And I will just go and recap and start where I
exactly
started in regard to United States. Adam Libriki. That was Makuei Lueth. He said, without the support of Americans and TROIKA, they will not implement peace. And this is what the previous speaker and all the supporters of the governments and should know, that this peace is not possible to be implemented unless it's supported by the Troika and Americans. You know, this is disregard the support of Russian and Chinese because they don't have the buck, you know, the dollar to implement the peace agreement. Now, you remember when General Taban went to.
Go ahead.
Someone called me. Do you remember when General Taban Dengai went to United States, tried to tell American to sell the peace agreements and to solicit funds in order to implement peace agreement? There was some close door meeting where Taban was there. People were laughing actually on Taban because Taban said this peace agreement is more inclusive than the revitalized peace agreement, the one was signed in 2015. You know, people were actually, this is what Americans said, and this is their position up to this point. This peace need to be inclusive enough. That means people like General Paul Malong, General Thomas Cirillo, and Darius and whoever, they need to be part of this peace in order to be inclusive, to call it inclusive. People were laughing on him. And then they asked him again, what about the security forces that are killing innocent people? They said, no, who are killing innocent people are civilian. People were laughing as well. They told him, you know, America spent a lot of money, like more than $14 billion on South Sudan. So they can be independent, they have their states, and the simple thing they expect from the government is to deliver services to the poor South Sudanese. And this is not happening. And now you're coming to solicit funds. It's not going to happen. So we'll bring it back to the statement of Michael Makuei Lueth. ده مؤشر خطير جدا جدا بأنه this peace is going to collapse if there is no technical support from United States and Troika in particular. That's why he tried to link that with the accusing Americans of trying to meddle and drill the peace by supporting Thomas Cirillo to wage a war in the Equatorial region. And that's not true. You know, many people said that if America is supporting Thomas Cirillo, the government will not exist for 6 months, and that's true. If America takes South Sudan's government seriously, that they want to change, they will not cost them anything. They don't need even to support Thomas Cirillo to do that. There is many ways. They can achieve changing the regime in Juba. شايف كيف؟ So this rhetoric of Makuei Lueth, this is how he is, this guy. You know, he been involved in the contradictory messages, the statements that are not making sense. And it's the same one who said that we don't need American support because American support doesn't run the government. See, and now you're coming saying that we will not implement peace agreement if America
and even
is not going to support us.
You know, I don't know what they are they out of their mind, what they speak, or what. في a little bit of clip here. أنا مذكر وكان كير يتكلم في كلام قالوا كده كلام كده very very stupid. You know, you cannot imagine a president of the country can say that. Just listen.
Okay.
There is no servant that can serve two masters at the same time. Michael slogan with the Thomas Cirillo group government as a against Zinka, the one young Yauma there. How do you join them?
So let us stop there. Asada, is it a responsible statement from the President of the Republic? Yani, can he be a little bit politically correct sometimes when they speak? Well, Nazir Malum mushkilatum shunu.
You're right. This is a very inflammatory message from the president, and this is actually that's how the games works. And this will bring us back to this recruitment that's happening in Warab State. Yeah, because government always, when you seek the support, you go back and appeal to Dinka. You guys are target, and Dinka mustahdaf عشان إنه Dinka need to stand with the government, support the government, because they will see the government as the protector. And this is exactly what's happening في منطقة الواراب, because الحكومة طبعا, there is folks, not all the Warab people perceive us as this is our government, so we need to do whatever to protect that, right? So if opening the camp to train people to protect the government sounds right. And let me give you this example with the Khartoum before independence, when the war started in 1983. Dr. Hassan al-Turabi, he said that we need to reform the army. القوات المسلحة السودانية need to be changed to be جيش روحي مجاهدين, and this is exactly what happened لجيش السوداني. So the INF can consolidate the power. That's why Umar al-Bashir is still in power, because تم تغيير الجيش السوداني من ما كان جيش وطني إلى جيش روحي, جيش إسلامي. So the same thing is happening right now. This SPLM, that's few shuluk, few Dinka من will, ودينكا من منطقة بحيرات, Lake State, وهكذا, need to be changed, make it inclusive, Warab, make it like 70%. This will give you, like, you have to read through the line. This is very obvious, I don't know why people don't read that. It's very, very obvious and overt. So don't tell me here you want to justify this is a simple recruitment. Why is not happening in Jongle or in
or you make an announcement like what I told Brother Akon, Lana Jejda into requirement, based on merit and all these things. في الصحة يعني مثلا طول كذا وزول ما عنده high blood pressure, ما عنده asthma, ما عنده those, and then قدم طلباتكم, and then بعد كده go for medical checkup. Yes, you cannot force anyone. That's the way it's supposed to be. Like in لما تقول I want to recruit people from Raja today, and tomorrow I want to recruit them from Kuwaita. بيكون في أحزان الناس, what are you trying to achieve here? It doesn't make any sense, Atileo. It doesn't make any sense. And actually, also, I applaud, sons and daughters of Thuc Mayadi for rejecting the ideas. Why do you have to come to Thuc Mayadi and recruit our son and daughter? Do you want to kill them? That's what you wanted to do? So go ahead.
Yeah, see, that's in regard to what happened to Matianganyor, predominantly coming from Mansugat Bahar Ghazal, Will, and Lake States and Warab. So now there is, assumptions based not on reality that people of a will are supporting Malong, even the one in the army. This is the perceptions out there. So you need to clean up that. And that's why there is this targeting that you were actually talking about yesterday. Because there are some folks that are innocent, paying the price because of the decision that were actually made based on a small evidence. Because these folks are from a will, for example, they are likely to support Malong.
Yes.
And this is a threat. So please, this is rubbish,
Go ahead.
And actually, if you want, just make peace inclusive, bring in Malong and Thomas Shirolo and stop all this war and nonsense. Because the wound that you're creating right now will have the consequences later on. And this is, in any project you want to do, there is two things you have to deal with. There is consequences and benefit. So now it's up to you what you want to consume first. Targeting peoples, suspecting people, and do whatever. These are benefits of the doubt, but you will deal with the consequences later. Because the outcry and the revenge will become a cycle. And when revenge becomes a cycle, it's very hard to break. One good example, and your speaker sounds like from his accent is from Buhirat, Lake State. My wife is from there. I don't have any thing against Lake State. But look how the government neglected Lake State. And look at the wars and the fight that happening between people and the revenge, that happening among the communities there. And government never pay attention to solve those problems. It dispatching folk that are brutal, folks that are very notorious, like Matur Shoot, for example. And Lake State is one of the areas actually gave brave South Sudanese.
And it was accommodated for South Sudanese because they were there, in that boarding school,
Absolutely. يا سلام عليك مدرسة روبيكا الثانوية سنة يعني مثقفين الجنوبيين يعني أمثال دكتور جانغرانغ و even نائب رئيس الأهالي what is his name Dr. Waniga. يعني كلهم كانوا خريجين من منطقه مدرسه روبيك الثانويه. شايف كيف؟ and now is neglected. You know, the area is all is done because of lack of will from the leadership to address those issues.
So, Atileo,
The
I want to
leadership
add another
is
point. Yesterday on our
yes.
show, actually, we were talking about the targeting. What is the correlation between, you know, the community and SSUF as a political organization? And some people, they try to make a contrast. They say, oh, well, it happened in other areas. But actually, the Northern Barkazal community as whole, they are not violent. Actually, they are not non-violent. If someone call you Sahara, whatever, you are likely will go to chief, you know, and open a case and file a case against that person. And that person will be called to the court. So it's something that people need to understand, because they did not carry guns against any government. They did not carry gun against any particular, you know, a tribe or whatever, you know. And sometimes I was kind of a little bit, you know, confused when people make that, you know, contrast, saying that, oh, well, it happened and this is now is happening. And you did not take any guns against anyone. You know, I think I want you to, you know, we have a little bit of insight of that.
Oh, very good, very good. Actually, yeah, the device cut me off yesterday, or even you ran out of time. Yeah, what's happening? First of all, I want to let your viewers know that I am from Montagut Awil, and I'm very proud to be from there. You know, Awil community and Awil society is very open and welcoming, and can provide the hospitality to anyone's. You know, all the مجتمعات الموجودة في منطقة أويل إذا كانت من لوا ودينكا وبعض من القبائل المهاجرة مثل الفلاتة وهكذا. You will not distinguish Dinka from Lua, for example, in Mantagat Awil, and this is what will make Awil unique from other communities. Not in a bad way. Other communities, but they have good things that will define them. You know, and that's why there is this coexistence created the peaceful Mantagat Awil. You know, and everybody knows that's why we don't fight over things. You know, there is no cattle riding and all this. See, so what is the community is going through now? Community of Awil, I know it's very sad actually. You know, this killing and targeting. You will come here and try to rubbish us that this is not happening. And for example, Malong himself, the person who declared his rebellion, is where did he fought? In what area? He didn't wage any war against. He declared that yes, he has a movement, and one day will happen. This fight that they are looking for, it will happen. But so now you're targeting people. It's not a threat. And even the appeal to the TROIKA that to IGAD that we want to be part of this ongoing peace process, and we will obey by the peace by the cessation of the hostilities. You know, so I don't know. It doesn't add up. It's just ways of trying to consolidate the power because there is the trust loss here for Mantagat Awil Bizad, because people are losing interest. Even within the community who are supporting the government are losing interest, like other communities. At the Mantagat Lake State, within the Warab, Tuj Mayarit, for example, are losing interest from the government. Tuj Mayarit, for example, and this is where the recruitment is happening. الطيارة التي كانت حطمت, you know, one of the best intellectual بتاع المنطقة ومثقفين بتاع المنطقة وسياسيين بتاع المنطقة, all of them died. It was a big loss. You should actually invest in the schools and compensation and so not to recruit people from that area, so you can use them to consolidate and maintain the power. And this is the whole idea. So Mantagat Awil community known by the resiliency, they will overcome this. But people need to understand, whoever is actually taking the law to their hand, try to commit this crime, to terrify people, to deter them, and to send them a wrong message that if you do this, or if you follow along, or if you rebel, or you go against the government, and this will happen to you, my friend, that's a wrong calculation, because the consequences are going to be very tough, and this is not good.
Yes.
You know what happened to the other countries, Somalia, Congo, and all this. We don't want those examples to happen. I think so. Okay, what? There's something here went wrong.
Yeah,
here.
somebody
Okay,
calling you. Well, and
you see?
also, you know, there's the issue of elders. You know, I to be honest with you,
go ahead.
I'm not pleased the way of our elders are handling the situation. For instance, those who lost their life, the 22 people. You know, when the elders of Awil went and met with President Kiir I think 2 weeks ago, you know, questions were raised. But instead of, know, those of quality, and they raised very good question, You know, imagine the very long time, you know, senior who is member of Gen Council, who served in Khartoum government for a very long time. Do you know what Aldo Ajo asked in that meeting? He asked the president that he can have a car. The guy has his son here in the United States playing NBA, and he has millions and millions down. Was it really something that people are going, they are devastating the death, you know, of their sons and daughters, and you go there and ask for a car? And actually he was granted. President gave him a car, V8. And now people are naming that car Aldo Ajo, you know, in Juba, and he's getting mad. You know, I don't know what's wrong with those elders. You know, they're supposed to be those who are saying wrong is wrong and the right is right. You know. Hello. Look like somebody called you again, Atileo. Have you back so you can make a last point, Atileo. We look like somebody keep calling you, and I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me. I just want you to finish that point, and then you can go. Just finish that point. I can bring other people here. Abu Yasmine, I'm so sorry because somebody keep calling you, but finish that point, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, I think I'm receiving some phone call here from back home. I think maybe one of the folks want to interrupt the show, I guess.
They don't like to hear what we are talking about.
Yeah, that's actually is a good point that you brought that point up. Yeah, the community elder met President Salva Kiir, and I will not mention the names. You know, within those elder, you know, them some folks that you know are very have the courage, you know, to confront or even to speak the truth, you know. But it's too sad. People that try to benefit in the expenses or through the expenses of innocent people, you know, people trying to solicit for fun and job and all this. And this is what happened to General Paul Malong actually when they said that Malong actually blocked the way so Kiir can hire people. Now it's been good 2 years now since Malong was deposed from the leadership.
And no hiring process.
And there's no anyone was hired, you know. And leave that alone, the country is broke now. You know, the money of the oil is not going to be enough, you know, because it's going to be shared by the looter and two countries, South Sudan and Sudan. That's why we'll go back to your point that Makuei Lueth is saying that if there is no money from TROIKA and Ittihad al-Europi and United States is going to be very impossible to implement peace agreement. That's true in that sense because there is no money. Money that they have, the little money that they have is not going to be enough because of the amount of the corruptions in the system. See, so those elder, there is some elder that I respect and a lot, you know, that I trust. They will not go silent, and will community is going under this brutality from the regime of President.
They did actually. There's a lot of them are vocals. You know,
yes, absolutely.
Actually, he made a statement to President. Those sons who were, you know, burned, and actually they discovered about them through the vultures. You know, the vultures. You know,
yes,
vultures were, you know, flying over. He said we will not bury them. We don't want to bury them.
Yes, see,
he was vocal, you know, in that meeting. But look what happened. President he said that he's going to pay $4 million, you know, for compensation because the thing is going to explode. And why should such a thing, you know, be allowed to happen in the first place? It's so sad, you know, Atileo. Anyway, it is. Thank you so much. You know, last word, and then I'll let you go.
Wow, thank you, Jongkor. Mayol, you're doing a very good job, and I would like to apologize for your viewer because I was actually calling me and I didn't find my device. I need to borrow some headphones. The show is good, it's fantastic. There is nothing here against anyone, so we're just trying to raise awareness. And I hope you can continue doing this. Now you're bringing this issue of a will community. Tomorrow, bring other communities as well, so people will not see that you are biased in your show, trying to highlight will concerns only. But all in all, good man, and happy Sunday. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, and try to have a wonderful day there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Makir, actually, you didn't send a request in, my brother. You know, if you do, and then I would have bring you. But let me try this. And meanwhile, I really want my the remaining guests, please. You need to come in, Daniel Ater and Apuk Maror, then Abdalla Garang and Thuc.
Hello.
Ahlan wa sahlan, Makir.
مرحبا اخوي جونكور، اخبارك يا اخي؟ قال له كويس.
Brother, and welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. you can go ahead with your perspective. تكلم باي لغه اللي يريحك. تفضل يا اخي. لو دايرين نقرا لك التوبيك تاني I can do it.
اوكي اوكي اقرا، لكن انا قريت، لكن انت برضه اقرا عشان نقدر برضه في حاجه فاتنقدر احاول اجيبه برضه، لكن انا قريته.
تصريحات مايكل ماكوي لويث. مايكل ماكوي لويث
اوكي.
طبعا تصريحات غير عادي against ضد الولايات المتحده الامريكيه والاتحاد الاوروبي بانه نزل عداله سلام وما اعرف ايه. حاجه ثانيه كمان هو كان اتهاماته للولايات المتحده، انه الولايات المتحده اكشلي هم عاملين دعم لقائد بتاع ناشونال سالفيشن فرونت توماس شيريلو. وهل طبعا النقطتين انا ذكرتهم دول يعني بيودي على ايه؟ يعني مايكل ماكوي لويث بيشوف ان السلام خلاص ماشي يكون ما في ثاني ولا وات ات از اكزاكتلي، فدي النقطه اللي احنا قاعدين نتكلم فيه. امبارح معلش فقدناك، انا كنت داير ادخلك لكن الظاهر انت ما كنت موجود ولا ما كنت اي دونت نو، لان الشو امبارح كان مزدحم بطريقه غير عاديه. فيتفضل.
نعم. اوكي، شكرا لك اخ جونكور ولكل المشاهدين. والبرنامج بتاع اليوم ممكن يكون برنامج برضه يعني برضه ممكن يكون برنامج جميل جدا وبيحتاج لعده تحاليل. يعني اول حاجه انا ببدا في السؤال الاول في البرنامج. يعني هو مثلا يعني بنتكلم عن عدم دعم الاتفاقيه بتاعت السلام من الترويكا. ده السؤال الاول قبال نمشي للموضوع بتاع المكوي. اولا اخ جونكور، يعني احنا لو لاحظنا بنرجع ورا شويه للفتره بتاعت الاستقلال بتاع جنوب السودان. الاستقلال هو اصلا كان مدفوع من الولايات المتحده الامريكيه بقياده جورج دبليو بوش، الوقت ده البوش الابن. هو عمل كل ما لديه من القوه على اساس يقدر يساعد في انفصال جنوب السودان. على اساس كان الوقت ده عمله الكبير بانه هو جنوب السودان هو الدوله الوحيد ممكن يقدر بعدين المصالح الامريكيه ممكن يتوجد في الدوله الصغيره دي والغنيه بالموارد المختلفه. يعني بعد ما الولايات المتحده الامريكيه عملت كل ما لديه وضغطت على الخرطوم ووافق الخرطوم على الانفصال، بقى الوقت ده يعني جنوب السودان بقى انفصل فعلا وبقى دوله ثانيه. الاداره الامريكيه حاول بعد ده داير يشوف الطريقه بتاعت الجنوبيين دي الحل هيسوي شنو بعد ده، التوجه بتاعنا هيكون بالنسبه للامريكان
ما كيف
يتجهوا بطريق اخر.
انت ذكرت نقطه مهمه جدا وبالمناسبه ذكرت نقطه مهمه جدا في 2009 كان في وفد كبير جدا جاء الولايات المتحده الامريكيه. انا متابع، انا كنت متابع تمام. الوفد ده فيها رئيس سلفا كير، فيه دينغ الور، فيها باغانا موم، فيها مجانا غوت، وفيها ناس اخرون ما شاء الله. يعني الوفد ده جاء ومشي وايت هاوس. زمن ده رئيس بوش الابن جورج دبليو بوش ده كان رئيس الامريكا. they welcome them. انت عارف رئيس بوش كان بيقول شنو لرئيس كير؟ كان بيقول له مستر بريزيدنت. زمن ده كان نائب الاول لبشير. كير بيقول له انا نائب، بيقول له نو I have to call you Mr. President. انا بناديك Mr. President. على فكره انا الكلام ده انا اخذته من مصدر يعني واثق جدا. فجا قعدوا في وايت هاوس بعد الدينر وكل حاجه دايرين يشوفوا برنامج شنو. لا كده جنوب السودان ماشي ينفصل، ده حاجه معروفه اصلا فسال البريزيدنت كير قال له Mr. President what is the plan from here؟ انا باقي سنتين بس وخلاص انتم ماشيين. what is the plan؟ قال له I refer this question to my brother Deng Alor. قال question ده Deng Alor. اوكي Deng Alor يتكلم كده قام سال question ثاني، سالوا عن economic وعن infrastructure دايرين تعملوا شنو؟ قال I refer this question to my brother Pagana Mo. يعني all the question like 5 اسئله كله عملهم ريفير. انت عارف رئيس جورج دبليو قال شنو بعد ما الجماعه طلعوا كده؟ والله قال يعني زي ما بقول هنا بالمشهوره في الولايات المتحده they don't know nothing, they don't have a plan. قال نزل قال we are screwed. قال we are screwed. نحن قاعدين نساعد نزل but those people they don't have plan. ما عندهم اي plan خالص. وفعلا كلامه كان صح، كلام جورج بوش because the people they don't have plan. البلاجة الثاني الإدارة الأمريكية كان عايز زمن ده هم قال أصلا أنتوا you are vulnerable ضعفاء. وأنا قاعد أقول كلام ده دايما في البرامج يعني وكأنهم وسط الذئاب وسط الذئاب. الدول دي كلها they're hyenas في كينيا في يوغندا فيها الدول دي كلها طبعا هي hungry. لما يكون في دولة وليدة قائمة يكون يعني مستمتع اقتصاديا وفي حرية ويكون في حاجات دي كلها they don't like that. فبالتالي هيجوا يهاجموا ويعملوا to corrupt it, you know. امريكا قال لهم يا اخي هنا we are showing interest هنا ده نعمل قاعده جويه في جنوب السودان. لان جيبوتي دوله صغيره وجيبوتي ما عندها امكانيات. جنوب السودان فيها بترول، فيها امكانيات زراعيه وبلد كويس وما شاء الله يعني. في وسط شرق افريقيا. بريزيدنت كير رفض. قال الكلام ده ما يحصل. في النهايه جاء حصل شنو؟ تو انا معلش انا قطعتك، لكن انا داير اتذكر الكلام ده لانه مثلا السياسات اللي كانت متابعه من الاداره الامريكيه انه مثلا يقدر يساعد الناس دي because they are يعني like younger brother I would say، يعني مثلا اخو صغير، فلينا لازم نساعدوه عشان يجيبوا على رجلهم. لكن الطمع والانانيه انه نحن لو بقينا مع امريكان ما يخلونا نسلم، احسن نمشي مع تشاينيز ومع راشا، لان ديل ما بيسالوا. لو سرقت ما بيسالك، بيعمل ديل معك يديك ويشيل وخلاص. ولا في زول يسال عن حقوق الانسان، ولا في زول يسال عن التنميه وحاجات دي، ما في زول يسال. فعلا ده كلام حقيقي. لكن امريكا يمكن يديك دولار واحد ويسال يقول لك يا مكير الدولار اديتك لهم امبارح عم تبغى شنو؟ انت لن تعمل اديتنج يو نو مراجعه. هم ما عايزين كلام زي ده. فمعلش انا طولت عليك، جو هيد كمل يا اخي مكير.
اوكي. فالمهم الاخ جونكور بعد الاداره الامريكيه عمل المجهود الطويل ده على اساس يفصل جنوب السودان، وبعد الجنوب انفصل يعني بدا بعد يشوف الطريقه بتاع التعامل الجديد بعد الناس السعادون دول هيقوموا يسووا له شنو على اساس يقوموا يردوا الجميل. لكن كان حكومه الجنوب اللي كده دفعوا لامريكا هو عن الوقوع في الحرب من جديد، خشوا في حرب فيما بينهم. يعني بقى الوقت ده الاداره الامريكيه ما قدر يفعل حاجه في شيء الحاصل. يعني شاف نفس طلع
يس مع باراك اوباما فاز في 2008 اوكي، وجاي استلم السلطه في 2000. ده كان في زمن ترانزيشن، زمن ترانزيشن تسليم السلطه من الجمهوريين للديمقراطيين. زمن ده او الكلام ده كان حصل فيه، يعني ما بالضبط كده بعد تسليم السلطه، ده قبل تسليم السلطه لباراك اوباما، لان باراك اوباما استلم السلطه في 2009 شهر 1 يوم 20. اوكي جو هيد مكير معلش.
اوكي. فبالتالي يعني الاداره الامريكيه ساعد تتفاجأ بالحروبات الغبيه اللي حصلت في جنوب السودان. يعني حاول فكر. طبعا الاداره الامريكيه لها سياسات وسياسات مدروسه، سياسات بتطلع من يعني من قاعده معينه، هو بيطلع من الكونغرس الامريكي. يعني الرئيس ايوه عنده صلاحيات، لكن برضه انت عشان تقوم تعمل اتفاقيات دوليه كويس، اتفاقيات بتاعت استثمار وكده، انت لازم ترجع للكونغرس تتخذ القرار من هناك عشان تقدر تتعامل مع الدوله. لكن الاداره الامريكيه تفاجئ الوقت ده بالسياسات بتاعت الحكومه بتاع جنوب السودان، يعني الكوربشن وشيل ده والقتل، الناس يقتل بعض كده. لقى الكلام ده اصلا ما بساعده كويس على اساس يقدر يقيف مع جنوب السودان. لذلك حاول الاداره الامريكيه يعني يغير سياسات تجاه الدوله جنوب السودان. اجل بالنسبه للكلام بتاع دخ ماكوي لويب بانه اتهم الاداره الامريكيه بانه توماس سيريلو هو مدعوم من الاداره الامريكيه. الكلام ده ربما يكون يعني حقيقه كويس. يعني الليله اليوم الامريكان دول طبعا هم بيعاينوا بين جنوب السودان هو وعشان يجوا يشدوا للصينيين ولا يدوا للروس. يعني الكلام ده بيوجعهم، وفعلا دوله صناعهم بنفسهم. لذلك ممكن الاداره الامريكيه تقوم تشوف طريقه جديده كويس على اساس يقدر شنو يعني يحاول ينتهي من النظام بتاع سلفا كير بصوره غير. يعني الامريكان طبعا يسووا سياساتهم سياسه يعني طويل الاجل، ما بكون حاجه مرجوعه، بيقوم بيسووا حاجه اللي قدام. ممكن يشوفوا الليله يعني يشوفوا طريقه فهم توماس شيريلو، الزول له فهمه قدر كيف هل الزول ممكن يقدر ينفذ السياسات بتاع الاداره الامريكيه. بيقوم بيجيبوا بيشوفوا يعني الصوت الشعب الجنوبي كيف، يعني الاصوات اللي ممكن تقيس مع توماس شيريلو قدر كيف. لكن انا افتكر يعني لحد تاريخ اللحظه يعني الفرصه ممكن يكون في حكومه جنوب السودان المفروض يراجع سياساته تجاه الاداره الامريكيه. يعني اليوم الترويكا ده وفعلا الامريكان نحن من عايشين في حاجه بيقول لها النظام العالمي كويس. نحن ما عايزين في نظام بتاع القطبين مثلا الاتحاد السوفيتي والغرب. نحن عايشين في حاجه بيقول لها النظام العالمي، والنظام العالمي بمسكه الاداره الامريكيه. يعني اي سياسه انت تعملها في الدنيا دي لو ما مريت بقنوات بتاعت السياسه الامريكيه انت ممكن تطلع من الجو زي ده. حتى الترويكا اليوم التاثير الكبير اللي يمكن بيلقاه من الاداره الامريكيه وتاثير كبير جدا جدا. لذلك الحكومه بتاعت كير المفروض يراجع سياساته، يدفع الجميل اللي عمله زمان مع الامريكان، يقوم يرجع سياساته. اول حاجه يبدا بالديمقراطيه. الامريكان طبعا انت تبني الثقه بينك وبين الشعب، بعد ده انت ممكن تبني الثقه بينك وبين الاداره الامريكيه. انت اليوم لو ما عندك علاقه بشعبك تلغايا الاداره الامريكيه ما بكون له علاقه لذلك الحكومه المفروض يرجعوا يعملوا دستور جامع. نعم تعمل دستور جامع وتحول نظام الحكم ما يكون حكم يعني لا بدون لا نهايه لها، يكون عنده فتره معين، يكون عندك سياسات معينه تعمل استقرار، عشان الشركات الامريكيه اللي ما ممكن يجوك في دوله مليانه حروبات زي دي ممكن يخسروا كويس. لذلك انت محتاج تعمل استقرار سياسي في المنطقه بتاعك. انت المعركه الاداره الامريكيه ممكن يساعدوك. وانا ما اخذ في راسي اليوم يعني الدعومات اللي قالوا ناس الترويكا عشان يقوموا يدعموا سلفاكير في اللحظه دي ما بيدعموا الاتفاقيه لانه هم شايفين الاتفاقيه اصلا ما حيعيش لقدام كثير. هم طبعا الناس انهم عقل وناس انهم سياسه عن عده سنين، وبيشوفوا الطريقه التركيب بتاعت القوات الجايه دي مثلا كان من ريك مشار ولا كان من جماعه سو ولا كان جماعه سلفاكير. هم شايفين الجماعات دي الجماعه حشه ربما يقدر يعيشوا فتره طويله. لذلك هم بيحاولوا شنو يعاينوا اول حاجه قبل ما يخسروا، لانه هم اللي خسروا في جنوب السودان ما مبلغ يعني بسيط، بيخسروا من زمان من بدري شديد يعني. ولا زال اليوم يعني النظام شايفينه في جوبا ما في استقرار. مثلا الليله مثلا ده طلع وده خشه وده طلع وده خشه، ممكن الناس دي اجلوا دوله جنوب السودان يستفيدوا منه لبعد مثلا 50 سنه لقدام ولا 100 سنه لقدام، ويخلوا الناس دي شنو يكونوا في لافين في عجله غير محدوده. يعني ممكن الليله مثلا يعني الامريكان ما غالبا يوقفوا الحرب، لكن برضه ما شايفين ممكن يوقفوا الحرب اليوم وما انه ثقه في النظام بتاع سلفاكير، لانه قبل كده هم جربوه طلعوا الدوله من الشمال وهم استفادوا من نظام سلفاكير. يعني الليله كان وقفوا الحرب ممكن سلفاكير برضه يتنصل منهم من جديد ثاني. لذلك انا اتمنى عشان البلد دي تستقر والامريكان يدعمونا، انت المفروض اول حاجه تعمل دستور تستعجل هسه حاليا. ما ايوه فعلا الاتفاقيه محتاج دعومات على اساس يمشي، لكن الناس تصبر، الحركات الواقعه تصبر ويقوموا يعملوا طريقه جديده. اول حاجه يكون الدستور بتاع الدوله، الدستور ده بيدي الثقه بينك وبين بين المجتمع الثاني كويس. مثلا الاداره الامريكيه، لانه الامريكان انت ما بتقدر تحاربهم، انت لو حاربتهم ما حتمشي قدام، اصلا حتكون قاعد كده في دائره معينه. الاتهامات بتاعت ماكوي لويث المفروض هو يكون نظام يعني يكون طريقه سياسيه. ماكوي ما هو صنفوا الامريكان ليه صنفوا الزول ده بانه هو من ضمن الناس يعني المجرمين اللي ساهموا في المشاكل في جنوب السودان. هو حتى في بلاك ليست المفروض هو ما يستخدم يعني الحراره في قلبه، المفروض ما يستخدم السياسات بتاعت الدوله كويس. ايوه انت صنفوك كزول مثلا هنا ده ما تصنيف، لكن انت المفروض تنتهج سياسات بتاعت يعني ايوه الامريكان انت ما بتقدر تحاربوا الليل الامريكي مهما انت عملت، ما بتقدر تضاضيه. لو انت دوله بسيطه وحشه وانت دوله انت مصنوع من الدوله دي ذاتها، الامريكان هم اللي صنعوك. انت ممكن الدوله اللي صنعك انت ليله جونكور ما بتقدر تضاضيه. انت قال لك انت حرامي، ايوه الكلام ده بالراحه كده وانت امشي بسياساتك بالراحه بالراحه. لكن لما تمشي قدام العالم وتقول ايوه توماس كيرلو هم دعوهم من هناك. نعم ايوه، لكن ما تخش في سياسات تتهم الاداره الامريكيه بانه دعم توماس كيرلو. ايوه ممكن يدعمه، لكن لما ممكن تتكلم فيه كزول يعني شخصي مثلا يعني ناطق رسمي في الحكومه بتاع الدوله، انت كده بتدخل نفسك في حسابات ما ياهو. المفروض يكون نظام سياسي. وانا اتمنى الناس ترجع للاداره الامريكيه ويغيروا السياسات. اصلا دايرين يغيروا سياساتهم كلهم. حتى زياره الرئيس زيارات بقت ما يعني ما متحرك اوروبيا. مثلا الرئيس عنده يعني ما حركه اوروبيه. انا ما قاعد اشوف يمشي مثلا بريطانيا، يمشي فرنسا، يمشي النرويج، يمشي كده. انت لو دوله بتصنع السياسات. الليله الامريكان لو شافوك انت زول ما 100 عمل علاقه مع فرنسا، عمل علاقه مع بريطانيا ممكن ياثر في امريكا، يقدر يغير سياساته تجاهك انت. مش عامل مثلا السويد. لذلك انت الرئيس محتاج لجوله جوله اكثر اوروبيه اكثر من يكون افريقيه كويس. وده الكلام ده يضيف اخ جونكور في زول مثلا ده يخش يقدر يقول حاجه. عندك ليه سؤال؟
ما في سؤال. شكرا جزيلا يا اخي، انا بشكرك كل الشكر لمداخلتك لكلامك، كلام قيم وكلام بمحله. So شكرا جزيلا. انا هنا او continue عشان نجيب ناس ثانيين كمان عشان نقدر نواصل. شكرا يا مكي، شكرا جزيلا.
نعم اوكي شكرا لك.
نشوف البتاع ده. انا داير اجاوب على الاخ سانتينو مجر، لكن بس خلينا نشوف الكهرباء ده. اوكي الكهرباء واصله كويس والكهرباء طلع عشان كده. اوكي الوصله كان طلعت فانا لازم اركب الوصله عشان ما يطلع. I don't want this thing to shut us down. So الاخ مجر في كلام هو قال هنا كان كتب تحت قبل شويه. مجر said that why do we have to give our resources to the United States of America, you know? So Major, I'm not saying that, Santino, I'm not saying that we need to give our resources to the United States of America. Listen, in Arab American, do you know how much money they spend in South Sudan, in South Sudanese? Do you remember something called that Sudan Lifeline, the one that used to feed, the refugees, South Sudanese refugees, the SPLM soldiers in South Sudan? Those are American. They did. Okay, American, they don't want anything. They don't want your resources. Lakin, when they ask us to have base in South Sudan, it's because for other use or purposes in West Africa, في طوارئ, في قاعدة, في حاجات كثيرة كان حاصل في المنطقة. So they need a strategic plan, a very strong place. But we, as the South Sudanese, we should have used that as an opportunity actually. لأن أنت الليلة ده أنت لو vulnerable زي ما بقول الجنة الصغيرة دايما depend on شنو؟ the parent, depend on people stronger. You, younger brother, you depend on your brother, you depend on your sister. Now they'll grow up. Well, America has already played that. Girlfriend in need is friend indeed. And if there is anyone out there don't think South Sudan is a friend, we are here. Kalam de Susan Rice قالوا في eve of independence في جوبا. قال كلام ده. So one of the reasons that يعني الولايات المتحدة نحن المفروض شنو؟ نتكل على زول مثلا القوي, and then later we can build our army, we can build our economic, we can build all these things, and then later you're not gonna need them. Look what happened. But أنا بديك مثل بسيط كده. أنا بديك مثل بسيط كده. Saudi Arabia, you know, Saudi Arabia, Iran is a threat to Saudi Arabia. Lakin, do you know that في المملكة العربية السعودية now, Saudi Arabia, they have US soldiers in Jeddah, in Riyadh, in Mina, Ras Tanura, on the eastern part of Saudi Arabia? Americans are protecting them. Do you know that Emirates are protected by the United States? They have base there. Do you know that in Qatar, they have base, United States have base, and Kuwait, and all these countries, and Jordan? Why are they doing that? Is America taking their resources? No, they're collaborating. They have a military cooperation. So if the enemy coming to attack them, America will be there because they are allies, they are friends. Adam? Yeah, زمان زكاة قبل نحن قاعدين وسط الذئاب. We are in, you know, we are between hyenas. Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, Ethiopia. All these are hyenas. Okay? And if you are between hyenas, you need someone who will chase those hyenas away. You need someone. At least you can build your army. At least you can build your national, forces, national security. We دربك financially system. لأن هنا جدار ما كنا دولة. Okay? And then it doesn't hurt if you want to give, a little bit. It doesn't hurt. And that's fine. And then by doing that, actually having military cooperation, and you have businesses with the United States, you can be able to, to export, your products, samok, whatever you have in South Sudan, oil, you will exchange business. And then when you exchange business, actually that's economic growth. Then your own population and your army will be trained and will, security-wise, you're not going to waste money. You're not going to waste any dime. Like in our leaders, they didn't want to accept this. They look to their pocket, to their bellies. That's it. So I'm not suggesting that we should take our resources and give them away to any other country. No, we have to be smart. المشاكل has اللي كله cattle raiding وهروب محلية كان بيكون ما في صدقني. But our leaders, they were not smart enough. They are not actually. That's what I meant, yeah, Santino. I hope you understand my point, So let me go ahead and see who is next. Those my guests. Abdalla Garang, I don't know where are you. I want to bring you an Ater. I know Apuk, maybe she's working, but I have 2-3 people, left on my list. They're supposed to join me here, and then we can move on, It's okay, I hope I answered your question, my dear brother. Yeah, I know, Brother Joseph, a lot of people are denying it, They just don't acknowledge it, and I don't know why. So, okay, everybody, Ajama, sending your request if you want to add your perspective. I saw you, Nyanut, you came in today, but I'm not to win. If you are there, I can bring you in. Nyanut Mawunding. Okay, David, I will call you. I'll call you, David, because I don't know, people are not sending their requests in. Something happening. Hello.
Jongkor.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead with your perspective, David.
Yeah. The perspective, of course, this is all about diplomatic issues and the foreign policy of South Sudan as a state, as you have mentioned it, and others also have mentioned it even before. We are not refusing to collaborate or to work with the Americans. They were the first friends. And actually, the allies of South Sudan, they are American. The first ally of South Sudan, they are American. But where we differ here is a way of a proxy wars. Proxy wars.
What do you mean proxy wars? Can you explain that to our
Proxy
viewers?
wars. Yes, proxy wars is that if you ask a state to give you part or any business, then you must be up to date. We started with the Chevron in the 60s.
No, no, rule out the issue of Chevron, because Chevron actually, it was when we
no,
were
this is
in
where
South
the
Sudan.
problem comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the problems comes in. Because if you have read the CPA,
I did.
When we signed the CPA with Khartoum on wealth sharing, okay. Now, the first block, the block 1A, B, and C, were for Chevron, and they sold it to Total.
Canadian.
Total is
French, sorry.
French. So when they sold it, they got the money and went to America. So when we came, we found the Chinese and the Sudanese with the pipeline, and the oil was explored and sold. So now they are telling us that we should stop the Chinese. And we said, okay, fine, we can stop the Chinese. But what is the alternative? They said, we're going to have a new pipeline that will take the oil from South Sudan to Djibouti, or from Djibouti to Mombasa, for example. Then we said, okay, let's work on the budget. In order for us to abandon the Chinese, we cannot abandon them just overnight.
Do you have evidence support this, what you are saying?
I'm a diplomat, of course. I am a diplomat.
I will let you continue. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry, it looked like there's something with his line there. We couldn't get him. But let me try to bring him back. This is an interesting discussion. Try to send it in back again, David. David Moore. I will get it from where I got it before. Okay. Can't bring David in camera. I don't know, he ran out of battery. What happened? I have no idea. David, it looked like your camera is off or you ran out of battery. Either one of them. But I don't know which one. Yeah, I said I can't bring you on the camera. And I don't know where you are. Are you in Juba? You know, that can be some issue sometimes too with the network there. But I'm really interested, you know, listening to you and hearing from you, because I have, you know, evidence too that United States actually, they want to go deeper and deeper with South Sudanese government to build a military base in South Sudan. So if America said that, okay, we're going to build pipeline for you going through Djibouti or Kenya, that means they're going to lend you money. They're going to give you money to do that, and they will protect you militarily But I don't know why you turned down the offer at that time. It's something that I wanted to know, you know. So I can bring David. So let me move ahead here. Abdalla Garang, go ahead and send me a request. Abdalla Garang, write something so I can bring you. Write anything. I know, Atileo, this was really, but I want him to be back. This is very interesting, you know. Abdalla Garang.
Hello. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Ahlan wa sahlan. Good to see you. Lakin Azolak Fagadnao, Ulo Jabba you. That is Zolak very interesting, you know. He's a diplomat, but he couldn't handle, you know, what we are saying, so he has to jump in. But unfortunately, network might take him out, so it's out. But I will try my best to bring him back. Fadali Abdalla Garang.
Yeah, okay. هو قال بعض النقاط لكن ما كملوا له، هو رجع ممكن يكمل النقاط بتاعته.
بالضبط كده.
أنا سمعت لناس كتير في الشو بتاع اليوم. سمعت لإيمانويل أجاوين وساندي جون أتيليو وآخرون. They speak very good. يعني برنامج زي ندوة سياسية، يعني كلام يعني مفيد جدا وبمستوى عالي من المسؤولية والمهنية. أنا داير أقول شنو بالنسبة للاتحاد الأوروبي والولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، هم واضحين. من الأول هم قالوا ما حيدعموا السلام الآن الموجود، لأنه هم لا يرغبون بسلام يعيد سلفا كير يستمر في السلطة وحتى رياض مشار. هم دايرين يعني حاجة تحول ديمقراطي ولا تحول سياسي حقيقي في جنوب السودان. لأنه في الاتفاقية الأول إذا مثلا الاتفاقية ضمنت على أساس إنه مثلا الرئيس الحالي ما حيترشح في الانتخابات القادمة، ممكن يكون في خوف، ممكن يكون في سلام، بعد ذاك الناس تمشي الانتخابات. لأنه بسببه هو ونائبه نحن في خلال من 2013 حتى الآن نحن فقدنا نص مليون مواطن. دي الناس ماتوا نص مليون. ده رقم كبير جدا بالمناسبة.
بالحرب وبالجوع وبالمرض وبالتشريد.
أيوة. دي 4 نص half million they died actually. دي الناس they died. We lost them in South Sudan. بعد ذاك في over 3 million they refugees from South Sudan to another country. And there are many thousands. They are refugees within their country. انت لو مشيت في جوبا في معسكر بتاع نازحين او نازحين من مناطق الحرب زي المطار الان الموجود لسه في جنوبيين داخل وطنهم وهم لسه نازحين في واو وفي ملكال. So this doesn't make sense. فالاخطاء زي دي مفترض الناس اللي تسببت فيها مفترض هم يحاسبوا عشان ما يكون عبرة للناس التانيين الجايين بعدهم ما يرتكبوا مثل هذه الأخطاء. لكن ده ما حصل. ده بيبقى ما مقنع للولايات المتحدة الأمريكية والاتحاد الأوروبي. عشان كده هم قالوا ما حيدعموا السلام لأنه ما شايفين في جدية في الاتفاقية الأخيرة. لكن أنا متأكد لو كان هنالك خطوات جادة على أساس إنه البيس أجريمنت يعني يمشي ويكون في سلام وفي استقرار في جنوب السودان، انا متاكد هم هيغيروا رايهم وهيدعموا السلام في جنوب السودان. لكن ده ما حصل.
Abdalla Garang, maybe can I disrupt you بس عشان اقول كلام لبرادر سانتينو. برادر سانتينو انا ضربت لك مثل كثير قبل، ضربت لك مثل بسعودي ارابيا. I give you example of Saudi Arabia. I give you example of Emirates and Sultan Oman and Kuwait, okay, and Jordan and Costa Rica, even Italy, France, Germany, UK. الدول دي كلها ويابان الدول دي كلها those countries US has based there. US didn't occupy them. ما مستعمرين. But you know what? Those Western European countries, they depend on the United States on defense. So now, Anna, I will make it clearly, I am pro base with the US in South Sudan. لأنه South Sudan, we are a new nation. We need a military cooperation. There is more military تعاون العسكري المشترك. Military cooperation with the United States. عشان يدرب جيش بتاعنا، يدرب بوليس بتاعنا، يدرب أمن بتاعنا، معلومات استخباراتية. لأنه حتى الآن الخرطوم بيختل المجال الجوي لجنوب السودان. They know everything, all the communication that we are using in South Sudan. All the communication السلطات الأمنية والبوليس كلهم they know everything. They know everything. لكن my brother, if we have a military cooperation with the United States like what they have in Saudi Arabia, in Maror, in Kuwait, and Dual Dipula, they will be a protector. They are a protector. They will train you. وما بخليه enemy, because American, when you are ally, انت لما تكون ally صديق معهم حليف, they will not allow anyone to come from outside and crush you. They will not. They will not. They will make sure Uganda is not interfering with you. Sudan is not interfering with you. Kenya is not. All these countries, they will not interfere. Atal Bashir will never become a bullying. قضايا بتاع الحدود بتتحل instantly. قضية بتاع أبيع بتحل، قضية بتاع كافيكيني بتحل، بانتو بتحل، ميل أربطان بتحل. القضايا دي كله they are going to be solved because you have someone backing you up. You have a big brother, backing you up. And then شايف هذا بسرق بقر ديل وكلامات فارغ ده بكون عندنا military training. ما بكون في stability في أمن في جنوب السودان. Because the most important thing for a country to succeed, the most important thing, I repeat, إنه يكون في security stability. لأن لو بلد stable security wise، أنت هتزرع ما بزول يجي يضربك بسلاح من الزراعة. أنت هتشيل محصولات بتاعك للسوق، ما بزول هيسرق منك، ما بزول هيقطع مهل بتاعك. أنت ماشي من باريان لأويل لكوبويت لوين، ما بكون في أي مشكلة. لما نكون security اتعالجت الشعب بتنتج. Everybody will work. You will work. يعني elders ما بيكونوا قاعدين في جوبا يقولوا ماشيين مكتب الرئيس أو قابل الرئيس، أو الشباب كمين بتاعه ماشيين قابل مكتب العرق. No. They will be productive. Everybody will be productive. لأن there will be no threat. ما بيكون في حاجة بيهدد حياته. When there is no threat, everybody is going to be productive. That's why لما تكون دولة ناشئة, newborn country, you need allies. You need ولو في زول قال لي يا أخي أنا بكون صديقك. I will protect you. Let them come and invest. Yes. عشان we can invest in energy, we can invest في كهرباء, ويكون في مشاريع زراعية. لأن لما البلد يكون مستقر. Yes. شوفها UNMISS ولا UN, they will never secure South Sudan. Trust me, my brother. UNMISS ده ليه؟ لأن جايبينه وين؟ من الدول العالم الثالث التعبانة. ناس جايبينه من بنغلاديش، ناس جايبينه من نيبال، ناس جايبينه من كشمير، ناس جايبينه من زامبيا. ده ناس جعانين. أصلاً بيشيلوا جيش بتاعهم ده بودو UN. So they can get hard currency. So UN can pay dollars to their countries. But they will not come and do the real job. Have you ever seen American في UNMISS ولا Canadian ولا German ولا Italian؟ انتوا شفتوهم؟ ما في. اليونميس كله ولا جيش UN قوات الحفظ السلام ده بيجيب من العالم الثالث. ده ناس اصلا they pledge يودي الجيش بتاعهم. لكن الامريكان they don't do that. They know this thing is weak. So actually what I'm saying here, we need kind of cooperation, تعاون. يعني الدول دي عندها مع أمريكا، زي اليابان عندها مع أمريكا، زي إيطاليا عندها مع أمريكا، زي بريطانيا عندها مع أمريكا. Now they have قاعدة جوية في بريطانيا. المذكر في حرب الخليج، حرب العراق، في طائرات B-52 كان بيتحرك من إنجلند يمشي يضرب العراق. Are they in control of UK? Are they in control of Italy? Are they in control of Djibouti? Are they in control of Kuwait or in Saudi Arabia? No. There is a sovereign. You have your own sovereign. But these are military allies to protect you from aggression. لناس عيونهم فيك زي البشير وغيره في region. But our people, our politicians, they were not smart. If they were smart, this is the first thing that they need to do. عشان تكون stabilized, تكون stable, security wise, and then ما بكون عندك أي مشكلة. That's what I meant here. I'm not talking about the new colonization, someone to come and colonize you. No. Abdalla Garang, I'm so sorry, my brother. Go ahead and finish your thought.
it's okay. انا في حاجه بس دايما نعملها. انا قبل ما قلت مليون people has been died in South Sudan. I said a half million, نص مليون، لانه التقارير بتاع الامم المتحده بيقول 470,000 almost half of a million. That is real. So انا داير اقول شنو، نحن محتاجين في جنوب السودان السلام الداخلي اهم من السلام الخارجي. لو اننا سلام داخلي فيما بيننا بنقدر نحن يعني بكون عندنا السلام في جنوب السودان. لما يكون عندنا السلام داخلي المجتمعات الاخرى بتحترمنا، بعد ذاك بتدعم البرامج بتاعنا، لكن شايفين انه ما في سلام اصلا. There is no peace in South Sudan. السلام الداخلي بيكون كيف؟ السلام الداخلي بيكون حوار بين الشعب والحكومه، الحوار بين الشعب والنخب. الحكومه تعمل على تنظيم احزاب في الدوله عشان الدوله تكون فيه استقرار. بالاضافه الى ذلك يعملوا حسن نيه للناس اللي ما وقعوا اتفاقيه السلام، زي ناس تومي شيريلو، ناس مالون اون، والناس فقانا موم القاعدين في الدول المحجر، هم ما راضين بالحاجه الماشيه في جنوب السودان. يعمل معهم حسن النيه على اساس انه الناس ديل يرجعوا ويكون في سلام حقيقي، لانه ما في زول بيديك قروش وما في سلام اصلا. اذا الحكومه هي دايره السلام في جنوب السودان عليها ان تعمل اصلاح سياسي، اصلاح اداري. ليه؟ لانه مرتين دعموك في 2011 لما جنوب السودان وين ساوث السودان قد ديبندنت، ما في مشاريع ملموسه يتعمل في جنوب السودان. في الاتفاقيه الاخيره 2015 برضه ما في مشاريع ملموسه بالقروش اللي بتجي من المنح. القروش دي كانت بتمشي لشنو؟ بتمشي لخدمات خاصه، يعني بحولوا القروش للخارج، يمشوا يبنوا البيوت في الخارج. ده ذاته ده كوربشن، وده ذاته يعني بتدمر الدوله. لانه انت لو كن يا جونكور وزير في حكومه جنوب السودان وتشيل مثلا 300,000 دولار 200,000 دولار تمشي تشتري بيت في يوغندا، انت كده شنو؟ خسرت الاقتصاد المحلي. مفترض انت ال 200 دولار، ال 200,000 دولار تبني له بيت في جوبا، او تبني بيت في اول عشان يكون فيه استقرار، او تعمل المساعده بتاعت تعمل تاهيل للمدارس، تعمل تاهيل للخدمات. الناس اللي قاعدين برا بيشوفوا في خدمات صحيه، في مدارس، بيجوا رايحين مع ابنائهم. لكن الحكومه شخصيا قاعد يمارس الكوربشن. الحكومه الان الموجود هو قاعد يمارس الكوربشن، عشان كده الحكومه مفلسه ما عندها قروش بتاع البترول يوزع خارج خارج وزاره الماليه يعني انا القروش النسبه بتاعت البترول الان الموجود هيقسموك الاتي: حكومه السودان بيشيل نسبته، يوغندا برضه عنده قروش قاعد يشيلوا. I don't know what's going on. يوغندا عنده
Okay, of course.